And we live, y'all.
We
The
are
Pro
live,
Quo
man.
Show.
We just
We
came in like that. Boom.
running it like real close. We love
But
it.
you,
That's how it
but you.
goes. Where's that intro at?
Oh, that intro is right here. And now we're
Dun, dun,
live.
dun. We are live officially, my people. And I go by, wait, this man's got to go first.
I go by
Pro.
Pro.
And I go
That's
by
it.
Quo. Pro Quo Show. Welcome, everybody.
Quoting,
Another.
because them quotes are dope. That's what he tells me,
Dope.
anyways.
That's
He
what
tells
it
me
means.
He tells me that, and I know the quotes are dope, so I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, I got certified, thankfully, by the legend.
So-
Dude, I just heard, by the way, people. So I hear this battle rap that Pro just did.
Uh-oh.
And let me tell you something. He is the best battle rap I ever heard.
Come on now, stop all
I'm
that.
telling you, man. I know it might be biased. Yes, okay, it might be
I mean,
biased.
I'm
but I
not
hold
gonna
it down,
fight
man.
you. I'm not gonna fight you on that praise, but you are biased because Quo is in the name Pro Quo. So I feel you're a little biased.
That's correct. But however, I feel like if you was in the ring with and you had 10 people in the ring, you one of the 10 of the elite.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate
Definitely.
that. I've
Man.
won my fair share. I've lost a few, and
Fats,
you know what I mean.
Fats, watch out, Fats. There's only one. Jet.
Fats.
Well, there might
Fats
be
a
two.
good dude, man. He's a good dude. I don't really know him like that, but just from seeing how he gets down on
Yeah.
those boards and stuff. Shout out to that's Bars of Death, man. If you an MC and you looking for battle arenas, Bars of Death is out of Canada. So this is a thing going on. It's called the Border Skirmish. They got a team of USA MCs, people that hang out on that board, something that developed during COVID, which we've talked a lot about. And I think May 17th and maybe May 19th, I think, are the dates it goes live. I'm on the day 2 bill. It's me versus Jay Fats. He's one of the main dudes up there. Canada, I tell people all the time, Canada's got some crazy, and I don't say this very often, they get some elite MCs. Shout out to that lunchroom cipher. I don't know if y'all look for the lunchroom MCs. If you're just into lyricism and just ridiculous delivery, those lunchroom MCs are no joke. They can rhyme with anyone in the world. So yeah, they're crazy. Check them out if you're really into that.
I know,
that
and I
kind of
never,
stuff.
in reality is too. I'm a bad judge because I've never really been into
The battle
the
thing
battle
directly.
rap scene. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
I've probably paid attention to 5 battle rappers in my life.
Yeah.
And,
Here, you know what it is though, man. It's like I really don't keep up with it. It's funny, I'm probably the only person on that board who's really not super up on it. I don't get me wrong.
You
I
used
do
to be.
watch.
Used to be. Yeah, you used to
Don't
be.
get no, not even that. It's not even that. It's I don't the time that I have in the day. The free amount of time that I have in the day, when you're putting out a project or something like that, it doesn't afford you the time to sit around and watch endless videos on YouTube. Whether that's watching the professor do crossover dribbles, or whether it's watching, battle raps or TED Talks or whatever. Just when you're in the grind, of course, it's just much more difficult, between working and family and doing whenever you have a project, it's like having twins. You know what I'm saying? It's like the equivalent of raising twins. And I've actually been in the relationship before with a woman who had twins, and not from the jump, but I'm just saying it's doubled. You think what it is to raise a kid, putting out a project for anybody who's real serious and has gone through like an entire album or anything like that, it is definitely like the equivalent of having twins. The great part is though is that you're only raising them for like a year, you know what I'm saying,
Exactly.
and then they take care of themselves.
Yeah,
but it's crazy. It's the same idea. It's sleepless nights. It's not headache filled. It's just trying to meet deadlines. And so that being said, while we're on that battle topic, what I would say is this: is that the way that battle MCing has taken a turn, and the way it is as an MC who believes that I believe with my written verses, like when it comes to a written battle, that that I got what it takes, right? And so having come up in the era when battles were first written, before they were freestyle, and then they've gone back to written. A lot of people don't necessarily know that, especially the younger cats. Like,
reality is that off the dome and freestyle are two separate things. Freestyle is a written material memorized, like, you know what I mean? Off the dome, that's a whole nother category.
Yeah.
The freestyle term got confused for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not an off the dome type dude. I'm a writer.
That's right.
On the other hand, can flex both ways. That off the dome stuff, that puts you in that ring because your written is crazy. Plus, you can couple that with the off the dome.
Yeah.
That's a talent that is very difficult to have.
But it really is just like anything, though. It is how much you put into it. You practice. Yeah, you practice it. You get nice at it. It doesn't take that long.
Oh, by the way, this is how you know you're married. This is my. I was like, where the heck's my mug at?
Oh yeah, man. Oh, white. Ooh, yeah. That's.
I'm drinking out of wifey's mug right now.
I don't do that. That's how you know you're in a certain kind of relationship, because that's right there is fighting terms.
I know. She said, "You gonna use my?" I said, "Babe, I don't know where I put my mug at."
Yeah.
and you know what's funny is that Celebrate mug is her mug too, so double dipping.
Yeah, man.
It's all good.
Yo, I know we got to switch the vibe up a little bit here. I just got to jump over, man. I was so, we didn't really get a chance to properly talk about Jay Tatum when he had his 60 points, right? And I was posting everywhere that I'm like, Jay is one of the most elite scorers. I would say the most elite scorer in Celtic history. So just in terms of better than Bird, in terms of, I know there's a fighting words for a lot of people, but I'm just saying in characterization with the fact he's 23, about to be, finishing up this season here, and I'm excited about the Celts, but Jaylen Brown goes down with a ankle season-ending injury. First he went out with the ankle thing, then it was arm stuff. I'm like, is it leg or arm? Is it wrist? Is it arm? Whatever. So he's out. This season's pretty much going to be a wrap. Evan Fournier has been playing real nice. Finally, the dude's been on an absolute tear. So I was like pretty excited about the Celts, like to see them like healthy or whatever, but we didn't really give Jay Tatum his flowers the way that I really wanted to, because I've been riding for that dude. People just wait until it's safe to say something like that. Don't wait till it's safe. The dude acknowledge the skills. You haven't seen skills like that from a player
exactly. And again, it could. But so remember with Grant Hill was kind of the same trajectory when until he got injured seriously early. And that's the thing. Those injuries, man.
That
you
can
just
do you,
pray. Yeah, because imagine MJ getting injured in the beginning of his career the way he was attacking the rim.
Nah, absolutely.
It's surprising that he didn't. So that in itself is huge, because a lot of players that have been injured, if that injury didn't occur, what they could have possibly become, that's the variable that's
Thank you, Tree, for sharing our video. Appreciate that. Just happened to catch that.
David LaFawn, what's up? Yo, KPTNM, what's up? Tree, what's good, y'all?
Yeah, man. Yo.
So anyway, people, we've been working, and finally, the weight of a million worlds has been lifted off of Jay Cruz's chest.
Why is that, Jay Cruz? Why is that?
Because let me tell you. So I haven't been able to think. Basically, Friday's the only time I say, "Oh, it's Friday. I got to get on the show," because otherwise it was like mixing, mastering, mixing, and I'm not too much of an engineer.
You sure are.
In my eyes, no, exactly. Like I am. Yes, I am. Because again, just like you say with the battle rap, I put a lot of time into it.
Put those hours in. Those 10,000 hours.
Okay, them hours add up. But at the same time, it's something that I don't enjoy, like Robbie Rowland.
Oh, right. That's a whole.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's like I would love to be able to give that.
Robbie Rowland, you listening? You need to hit us up, man. Robbie hasn't hit us up in a while. We gotta get Robbie come through.
I know. I can hit him with the link, man. I'll hit him with the link.
Word.
Robbie, we had that little segment where I went down there Tuesday. I drove an hour and a half to his studio, home studio, beautiful joint. We recorded a record that I did with him and two of his people, DC and I can't remember the other cast name, but that's my bad. But incredible
Loki?
MCs and art. Loki,
Talking
thank
about
you.
Loki? Yeah.
Yeah, DC and Loki are crazy dope.
Loki, like Thor's brother. Loki. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Loki. There you go.
For my,
yeah.
For my
Superhero.
this one actually
people.
is DC, but you know what I mean? But sorry.
Yeah, for your Marvels. But so I got on the record, and then that night we did something out of the box that I ain't never done. You know, Robbie and I sat down. He put the beat on. We had like a couple hours. We wrote. You know, I mean, I'm the one crafting it, but we were throwing ideas at each other and bending bars, and it was cool, man. We did a whole 2 12-bar verses in like 2 hours.
I heard that.
Yeah, it came out pretty. Right? Yeah. And it came out dope, and it was cool too because I was in the booth, and everybody needs to know that I'm one take on the whole Instant Brotherhood album, except a couple fixes, like Kamala Tibbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
couple fixes.
Those are just things that you figured out were like, I didn't say what I wanted to say.
It's a necessity. Yeah, exactly. We have to really change that. I messed up when I said it. But those are punch-ins to me. But we did this whole 12. Like I rapped the verse a couple times, and he's like, all right, start from the top, punch in here, fix that, put this energy, did it, and started doing like directed me like a conductor. And it was fun. I had fun, man. We made a pretty dope record like that.
Yeah.
Shout out Robbie.
Definitely.
But the mixing is all done, people. The album is done.
For that Instant Brotherhood? Yeah, man.
Done.
The album's done. The artwork's done. The first video is officially done. We've been giving you guys some previews. But, the whole thing's done. 15 tracks. All good. That is getting submitted to come out
and shout out my brother.
June.
J Money. City Limits for putting the artwork up real quick for us and made an incredible piece. It has other pieces in the backdrop, without that last element, it's like that's the final polish, the stamp on everything, and he did a great job today finishing that.
Absolutely. Thing looks beautiful. Yeah. Absolutely.
So what we planning when we slated to drop now June-ish. I mean
June-ish. Yeah.
The end of June, possibly, right? Or July? Beginning of July?
It's June. Jay's making conversation with me like he don't know. He's like, "When is that June?" Yeah, man. It's June. Unless we mess something. Unless we drop that ball. But should be end of June.
Freddie,
but
what's up, Freddie?
We could drop
Michael,
the ball.
What's up?
There's a lot of things that can be dropped. But yeah, in about 7 weeks, that'll be out. So you guys can do the math from there. But it's funny how release dates don't really matter like they used to. It's like, remember how release dates was such a big thing? I mean, it's big because you want anticipation, but I mean, in terms of like what day of the week it is, when it's virtual and people are in COVID, does it really matter what day of the week it is? You know what I'm saying? I realize people more and more, CDC just put out an announcement last night, if y'all didn't hear. They said, which I think is kind of a bit reckless, but they were like, if you have been vaccinated, fully vaccinated, you don't need to wear your mask. That's news. So that's news.
And let's talk about that too. We could talk about the fact that my daycare for my daughter has been shut down for a solid week because they did that, in fact, and 3 of the teachers end up catching it. So what does that tell you?
How'd that go?
Now,
how did that go?
Yeah, exactly. We don't, it's. I guess at some point you just have to say, look, get vaccinated, and if you haven't, that's on you. But they should have maybe held off a little bit before they did this because now they're going to shut the summer down again.
Well, my thing is like, I don't care. I do, personally, I get that people have their own personal say. They're going to do what they want. Like, I was going to say, I don't care if people get vaccinated. Obviously, it'd be great if people, it's not about getting vaccinated. It's about the virus ending and not spreading, right? And so it's like, however that has to occur. So if you are somebody who's not going to get vaccinated, well, then wear a mask. The problem is there's too many people who believe it's make pretend and that they're superstars and that it's not going to happen to them. And like, it happens to 500,000 people who thought it wasn't going to happen to them, and then it happens. I got friends who are on both sides of that pendulum, both sides of that argument, and they're just they're like, oh no, I'm not going to do it, and then they're sorry about it. And you don't hear enough of those stories. It's like, it's just wear a mask, when you're around other people. My thing is like, I'm just not cool with the people who I know don't believe in the virus and don't believe in COVID, and now I see somebody not wearing a mask, and normally in a normal society, you'd be like, oh, clearly that person's vaccinated, but we live in the fake news era where nobody believes scientists, which is freaking crazy because I've, spent the better part of my life around scientists and mathematicians. You're going to believe, Jim Bob down the street, because he read an article on Facebook, and you're not going to believe a scientist. And cause why exactly? I'm not sure exactly what that was. Like, what exactly was your rationale? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like,
I know it's that's the opinions
gut
can really
instinct?
eat. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Good, you
But it's
said
like,
good instinct.
yeah, right. But it's like, yo, you can have your opinion, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want your opinion. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm out, it's just kind of like, yo, like I see you do with but trust me, yo, I got COVID fatigue. I'm dying to not be wearing a mask, yo. Yeah, I was just out at the store and I was like, yo, I'm fully vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated, you know, but I'm like, nah, I better keep that mask on. You know what I mean? I want to take it off, but it's like, how do you know what the other dudes are doing? I don't get that. So they came out with very little fanfare about that disclaimer too. And you know, the CDC's been back and forth on things with the change of administrations, but they were back on sort of like science wins at the end of the day. And this is very unfinished science. I mean, really what's been unsettled for a long time is, can you actually spread the virus when you've been fully vaccinated? That is not settled science either. You know, this is all new terrain, you know? So it's like, okay, and then what does that mean for little kids, you know? And I get it. Like my kid's back at school a couple of days a week, and you know, he's 8, you know what I mean? And I'm like, do you want your 8-year-old, you know,
to be in that
you're talking about your daughter's in an environment with your daughter's 3, dog. It's like, you know, I get it. They don't mostly get sick, but there are plenty of kids who have died. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's died, not just sick. They've died. You know what I mean? So it's like
scary.
What odds? Yeah, it's like when you go on a plane and they told you, there's a 1 out of 1,000 chance it's going to crash. Are you going on that plane? A 1 out of 1,000 chance? Hell no. You know, that's 0.1%. You ain't going on that plane.
No, thank you.
You know, I'll take the
they ride that plane like Fred Flintstone, bro.
Dog.
That's a Fred Flintstone plane. You know, it might work today.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, and I got my kids.
Yo,
on that plane.
Vince said something pretty cool. He said, after hearing J. Cole freestyle, where do you think you compare?
I haven't heard J. Cole freestyle. I've never listened to J. Cole freestyle.
Yeah, I heard it today. Actually, it's kind of going viral.
Okay.
I didn't listen to the whole thing. Shame on me,
it's
maybe.
A legit freestyle. That's what.
No, it's a written. I mean, they call it what we were just talking about. Freestyle.
Wait. So he's saying after hearing J. Cole freestyle, like
he said, where do you think you compare?
So I got to clarify. We mean like today certainly wasn't the first time we've ever heard J. Cole quote unquote freestyle.
Yeah. All right, that's why it's being brought up, because it's a current event.
J. Cole's a monster, yo.
Definitely, he deserves he deserves to be where he is, for sure.
Yeah, let
but I'll tell you what,
for all the soft fake people out there, right? The super fake whack. This dude's got no skills. He's feminine, whatever. Yeah, I'll take all of them. Give me Drake, give me J. Cole, and give me who do you want to throw in there? Kendrick. Like, I'll take all of them over everybody you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, stop fronting. These people are ridiculous. Right. They're insane.
But it don't hurt my feelings. But the thing is that it doesn't hurt my feelings none. And in fact, I just it excites me, because I say, damn, I'm just as good.
Absolutely, you're a monster.
You know that's how I compare. When I don't do comparisons like I maybe would have as a child. You know, once I own my art and I own my craft as a master craftsman, you know, I do my art a little different than this person, and that's the difference. But
you sure do.
The time and the polish is
blessings, Freddie.
A nice vehicle. But good question, Vince. I like that.
No, I mean that's you said it more calmly than me. I mean, I just get so upset with these times, man. I'm just telling you, I gotta share an article, right? Let me share this. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna share this screen here. We're gonna go another shameless plug at the website.
Are we gonna hit him with a yo? By the way, we have one of my basically. I mean, this is basically a blood brother as far back as we go. One of my day ones coming in, but. We gonna play him a little bit of that Pro Quo.
I don't know, man. I don't know if people you know, we would need like a lot of likes and stuff. We never do that. We never ask for likes.
We don't
or
challenge
shares
the people. That's right.
No, we don't. They just get spoiled. You know, they get spoiled.
Let's get up to 50 shares and more than what we have, and we'll play something.
What was I even looking for, man? I'm so rattled now. Oh yeah, this is what it is. Y'all can see this, right? I'm looking at the media section. All right, let's get off the media. I got to get in press. I know it's in here somewhere.
That's great that you got to get your kids vaccinated, Tree. I'm assuming they're probably a little older.
So this article, which I may not be able to get into because it's the Chronicle Higher. No, okay, let's read that. Right. Look at how this intro. And I want you to look at the date of when it is. This is the Chronicle of Higher Ed, right? Which is the most major magazine for higher ed. Like that's the one you're trying to get in, right? That's like the vibe, the source, whatever, right? So that was 2011. And what they interviewed me on for this, it goes, it's safe to say the few members of the math faculty get asked the kind of question that Peter M. Plord did at the start of a recent algebra class here at Northeastern University. Plord, a student, Bahailu Abreha, said, who's better lyrically, J. Cole or Drake? And look when that is. It's 2011. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, those kind of things, it's like top 10 list, who's the best, have you heard Drake freestyle, have you heard J. Cole? The interest, I think, comes from the fact that they're not your traditionally uber hyper masculine MCs that you see in front of the camera all the time. You know, I think J. Cole is, you know, a little bit more on the masculine, you know, pole than maybe say Drake, right? Drake gets all that he's soft, he's emo, whatever. Yeah, Drake will rip you though. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? J. Cole will rip you. And God, J. Cole walks in the studio and goes and does a verse. Or let's say he walks in a club. Or let's say it's Drake. Or let's say it's Kendrick. Any of these quasi, they're not new obviously, but quasi that next generation that started coming around 2010, right? Are you not going home and talking about that you just seen this MC at the club?
Yeah, facts.
Of course you are. All
Absolutely.
of Dreamville. Everyone in Dreamville's
You know,
ridiculous.
I think what it is that you have some MCs out there that their flow, their delivery, their sonics are complete trash.
Right.
But their lyrics are actually really good. Right? And then you have the people that sound like incredible with delivery, flow, and the lyrics ain't that good.
Yep.
So it's like there's different lanes that it all comes, you know what I mean? It's like merging lanes. So you have to fill up these other lanes, man. You can't just be a dope lyricist. You can't be. You got to have like a balance of everything. So
you really
J. Cole and these other people, they have that balance where, you know, lyrically, if you just break them down lyrically and talk lyrics and take flow out, take delivery out, you're looking at something different.
You know what it sounds like, Jay? It sounds like this.
I'm a killer, like the loud, I'm kamikaze. Salute the chief, the click deep like astrology. Rebuke the meek.
It sounds like Break It Down.
Doesn't it?
It sounds like you breaking it down, and you know, I feel like I'm more agitated than usual. I'm usually like calm and happy to be up here, whatever.
You had a busy.
Maybe you're happy we finished. I'm like, man, come on, let me. Maybe it's the battle raps, man. Just like punch someone in the face.
You got Liddy, man.
No, I appreciate it, but let's get back to this though. Let's get back to this.
Definitely.
This because we bring it up an elite MC as well, so we got to keep it in that a dude who's been doing it for a minute, and that's the thing too. When you've been doing it for a while, even like J. Cole's and them kind of, you've been doing it for a while. It's easy. People want to take shots at the throne, right? They want to throw rocks. They want to, or they get mad, and I get that because no, they're not the nicest people in the world. I'm just saying, like, compared to the people that you hear, and if they were just showing up, you'd be like, yo, who's that? Right? They're on point. They don't do whack verses typically. I'm gonna say this. I do not check for either one of them like that. I don't go, oh my gosh, I gotta go hear the new J. Cole line. J. Cole a little bit more than Drake. Drake is not what I'm bumping in my system. But if Drake comes on, I'm not changing the channel. It's not like if I'm at a wedding and Drake came on, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's whack. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, thank you. You know, you're at a wedding and you'll all of a sudden you be dancing something you would never dance to just because it's in the realm of hip hop. It's like Drake. I'll be like, oh, that's legit. You know what I'm saying?
I vibe with Drake all day.
Save all that stuff.
We were playing. Me and Shorty were playing that album the other day, like back and forth. I mean, it's a long. I was surprised he dropped like 20-something records on that.
Yeah. His mixtape game was insane. You know what I'm saying? But it's like
he's you know. But again, he's that to me lyrically. It's kind of like a lot of people throw shade at Lil Wayne. Yo, Lil Wayne is a genius.
Yeah, lyrically, he's right there, man. He changed the game.
He's insane. This just and you don't catch
it. I'm not copping, you know, or streaming any of them really like that, you know. But I gravitate a little bit more to J. Cole. Like I'll check out what he's doing. Like I was excited when Dreamville came out. I was like, yo, I gotta check this. I was like, okay, you know, they got Baby doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, all right, cool. Let's go. By the way, he came off on that track.
But John 8.
But Nah, it just in general, it's like there's so much. It's like, yo, life is short, people. Just admit that you don't have to be a hardcore super killer every 24 seconds that go by. You know what I'm saying? You don't need, the only music you listen to doesn't have to be gym music. Yeah, I listened to, I did this podcast the other day, and I'm laughing in my head, you know, because it's like comedy, how every podcast in the world comes on and goes, dun, 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 and it's like smooth jazz, and it's like, hi, I'm Barbara, and this is Joe, and we're here today doing a yeah, but it's like, it does bring you into that other realm, you know. And I was running a we had an end of the year faculty meeting today. I run our faculty meetings in terms of, like, I shouldn't say I run them, but I make the agendas and run this part of it, right? Like facilitating, right? And so, you know, but in the break, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, there's some dope hip hop I'd like to hear right now. But I'm like, nah, I can't do that. They're going to want to hear some like jazz or something, you know? And I put on some jazz and I'm like, yo, I actually feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, it's like, it was nice. You know, some jazz hits it right in the pocket. You're like, it's not that put you to sleep music. But it's just like dope. And, yo, like, why do we got to be super thugs all the time? It's like,
hey, by the way,
listen
bro,
to jazz. Yeah.
You have 30 shares on your page, bro.
Is that good? I don't know. What do I know?
I mean, I don't know. I never really look, but it's 30 shares.
I don't look either. I'm terrible at that.
I'm starting to. Boys and girls, look, we are now that the album is done and we've been talking about, if you've been following us forever, you understand what we've been doing. I mean, forever's only really like a year. But forever. And you know, now we're gonna be tuning the show up more and more. And it's cool. Because I started working on some lists about guests that we're going to be having come. We got some phenomenal people in the shoot to be bringing up on here. And again, It's going to be real cool chilling with one of my day ones here.
Someone was saying they're having a problem sharing something. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put in there something that we never share. We never share the Facebook page. It's a Facebook page is like our step brother or something. It's like we don't give him the love that he needs. You know what I'm saying? It's
we're trying people. We got a lot of pages we running.
Yeah, it's like, that's the problem when you got too many things. You know what I'm saying? Too many things. It's like, how do you know which one to It's so simple, though. It's tinyurl.com/the Pro Quo Show. So when I think the Pro Quo Show, other than Professor Lyrical / the Pro Quo Show, the only place that you have the Pro Quo Show is on tinyurl.com. So just remember that. And you can find it. You find the old shows, you find the new shows. And again, we don't give it the love and attention it deserves, but we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. And we need y'all when we start leaking some of these songs, Jay. I mean, officially, like, putting these songs out there. Don't forget Bye Bye is out on Spotify. Our debut.
Absolutely. And I had to hit that up again today because, you know, we at the point where we're starting to get to the process with our album to be released. So we want to make sure that we still have that support on Bye Bye. You know, make us look good, and that's great. We appreciate everybody streaming because we definitely have a lot more than we anticipated, just due to the fact that we didn't do anything except drop the deal.
Yeah,
tell her, you know,
like, yo, what's going on? We got too many plays.
I mean, we told some people, you know, we just didn't expect it to multiply as much as it multiplied. So appreciate everybody.
You know, and it's not to say we don't expect people will like some of the tracks, but it's like, you know, we
don't
really push it in the way that we might need to.
My bad.
What up, Don Juan D Mac? But John H. Lil Wayne is the most influential rapper in history, objectively speaking. All right, I mean, definitely up there.
That's a great. That's a good point.
Definitely up there.
You can definitely make that a valid point.
I would say Jay-Z personally, but I get the argument with Lil Wayne. But yeah, I mean, Lil,
he's up there with, like,
there's no wrong.
Even Dre, you know,
there's no wrong. But then you got a billion white kids who like rap because Eminem, you know. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like they dress like him, they look like him, they still, you know, and they get upset if you say that this track wasn't hot, you know. But you know what I mean? So,
that's funny.
We've spoken that before too. Before we get him up here too, we've spoken that before too. It's like, again, like, not to get it twisted. It's like, I do not check for. I've never historically checked for Eminem music. It's just sonically, he doesn't really do it for me. Lyrically, he's insane. Flow is insane. I acknowledge it. You know, it's unbelievable. If you saw the dude live again, you'd be like, this dude's the nastiest dude I've seen all day, right? But it's like not for really.
Lord Jamar made the best point to an Eminem thing. Because again, I'm the same kind of way. Yeah. And he just said I don't relate to anything he said.
I'll do a track with you, Em, anytime, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Just putting that out there.
I wouldn't
I know you're checking it out. You know what I'm saying? But you know.
yeah, Jamar said that, and I said, "Hey, that makes sense." I get.
What did he say? What did he say? What was the line he said?
He said something to the effect of, "I just don't relate to what he says."
Oh yeah, no, it's not that
And
I don't relate to what he says.
And then he pointed out, he's like, "What about Vinny Pat?" Like he started pointing out other, you know what I mean?
I don't relate to
I get
people who talk about being billionaires all day either. You know what I'm saying? Or millionaires. What I don't relate to, people moving keys and moving. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? I'm not moving keys. I don't got, billions. I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I relate to. I don't have to live it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be in a trailer park in Detroit to understand what dude's talking about. My thing is, if you paint the picture right, I'll vibe with whatever it is. That whole relate to it thing is such easy stuff. People say that all the time too. It's like, oh, I don't relate to it. Really? You relate to the rock and roll band that you were listening? Like, when was the last time you were playing electric guitar, drinking blood and, doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, who am I thinking of? Kiss, right? It's like,
being bad heads or something like that.
But, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, Nick Ash, #, what's up, brother?
What up, Nick? But it's just like acknowledge the skills. Again, it's like a dude like an M, right? It's like I am no M pom waver, that is for sure. But it's like, dude, acknowledge the ridiculous skills. It was like when Cannabis was doing his thing, right? It's like acknowledge the ridiculous level of skill.
Yeah, right.
You can go any of these people in time and just be like, acknowledge, yo. Why hate on it? You know what I'm saying? Just be like, yo, whatever. You don't like it, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And just say why. I don't love M sonically, but I know he's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? There's no love loss. It's just like, yo, ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, now that we vented,
I know, man. Hey, you had to let some steam out. Let me fan the flame.
Dude.
Fan the flame.
Maybe
we could get into real quick. What we could do.
What's that?
We could get into the fact that we have the most official sponsorship.
Oh, I was trying to show you one. Okay, all right, but you do yours.
Some of this Pro Quo merch. We got T-shirts looking like that. And what color? That color.
That color's blue.
That color. We got.
I know. That's gonna call for another share too. That's gonna call for another share, J. Cruz. We're gonna have to get it, but I feel you.
Yo, I found one other hoodie too. I forgot we had.
What? There's another hoodie. We were telling every people we out of hoodies. And now we got hoodies. I thought
the same, and I'm like, where's this hoodie come from? But it's
all right.
Found it.
All right. So we got another
anyway,
hoodie.
That's the most official.
That actually absolutely. Look, boom. J. Cruz again is the unofficial sponsor.
Well,
J. Cruz with the Pro Quo Show.
Our unofficial sponsor today is Mr. Mickey Mouse.
No. You were giving him burn, man. You already gave him burn. He did not cut a check after the last time you gave him burn, man. Yo, I'm telling you, my son right now though, he's like, Daddy, I think we need to go to Disney. I was saying this before, and I was like, man, so Disney's bombarding him at every angle, right? It's like he can't escape it. Look at Daddy. You know, Daddy's checking out. Look at me, right? I mean, yo. Too much light. That's Disney.
There you go, Falcon.
It's Millennium Falcon. No, I know it's almost both. Right? Star Wars. That's Disney now. Everything's Disney. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes don't need the money. But you know what? Who else doesn't need the money? I'm coming with the unofficial sponsor. I don't know if you can see it well enough, right there. I got the thing on the way. Hold on. Coming with it. Here we go.
Cut that.
Can you see that yet?
$6.97. I see that.
That is a buy. That's what I'm talking about.
A steal,
$6.97 for this lovely Batman, almost hand drawn.
Yeah, that's ill, dude.
But the real thing was you were supposed to see it's because I broke it off. No wonder I messed up my sponsorship. Yo, I got it at GameStop, man. Shout out to GameStop. GameStop, yeah, man. GameStop comes with them. A lot of them comic things that I need. So anyways, $6.97, man. I'm rolling with GameStop, even though their whole screwed up stock thing that was going down before. But shout out to GameStop. Shout out to DC. Shout out to Marvel. Shout out to all you comic nerds out there. We hoping that you're going to love what Pro Quo got coming for you, too, because we got a little bit of that element as well.
Hey, yo, shout out again, KPTN.
I think it's
French
Captain,
Underground
right?
Hip-Hop. Captain, like, there you go.
Captain Haddisk. Yeah, big up for
Captain
French
Haddisk.
Underground. Yeah. Absolutely.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yo, let's do this one share, and then let's get our man AVREX up in here. But let's do the share. Let's share the screen. Let's go over to... I'm going to have to find it at... You know what? We're just going to... I was doing a search for Bye Bye on Spotify, but you know you can't do Bye Bye on Spotify. You got to do Bye Bye Pro Quo.
Oh, that's right.
Bye Bye single. Yes. Yeah. When did I last visit? I last visited 5521. I'm not doing my due diligence, man. I need to be viewing our page more. Anyways, no, that's not even it. Let's hit it right here. I want to go here. You know what we're coming to, the Pro Shop. Pro Shop, baby.
There you go.
So that's making it the official sponsor. $20. Those are the colors we have left. I activated the hoodie. Got the hoodie back up there. Just a push of the button, Jay. I did it
There
quickly.
you go. Look at that. You did that so seamlessly.
Now, technically, it's not blue or black. It's just
Blue.
what's the color you got?
Blue.
Blue. Well, you know what's funny is I got my own personal unworn black one still with the tag on it. So I mean, you know, I'd let it go if
You
someone wants the
technically
black one.
do, you know.
Technically a black and a blue, but once one of those goes, we'll have to take that out. But yeah, man, it's an easy cop. All right, that's your official sponsorship, Jay Cruz. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
That's what we do here.
I appreciate that self-love.
So my brother was going to come on today too, but he was, you know, he's still getting up at 4 a.m. He's got to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow for work.
Well, he's going to be sad he missed it because we're bringing in AVREX, man. So let's bring him in.
I know.
You want to knock on that door? See if
let's knock on that door for my homie AVREX.
It opened. I like.
There he is.
Yo.
Oh, sounding crispy.
AVREX. Yeah, I had a little sound effect there going. What's going on, man?
You got some of that echo.
Sorry, we were venting there, man. We were venting, man. Did you catch us venting? We were just, more me. I was venting.
It's dope. I was entertained, man. I like this.
I appreciate it, man. This is what we do. This is what we do.
Man, we need to get them on Sirius XM or something.
That's what I'm saying, man. Sirius something.
Hey, I like that.
We'll go on
Hey,
Sirius
you know what
FM.
AB said? AB was like,
Sirius
"You guys the
FM.
next MTV. You the next Yo MTV Raps." I said, "What, AB?
Is that
For
what it
real?"
is?
He won't gassing. He won't gassing. That's for sure.
There you
Yeah,
go.
man.
My brother, yeah. So people, again, the proper introduction. Me and AVREX go way back. We talking about like elementary school way back, and there's not really too many people that I know that I've grown up with that are still pursuing their music career. And more importantly, one thing that I know about Ave is that he's an entrepreneur in the core. He's always been that type. So I always knew he was going to be something, and it's just cool to see him with this music thing doing what he's done. And I won't take any of his steam off of that. Like, shout outs to who he's got work with and all the projects he's been involved with over the years. But big things, man, big things, and blessing to have you on the show, bro.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me, man. It's dope to be on.
Definitely. I feel like I can go get a snack because y'all are both from Leominster originally, right? You guys known each other forever.
Yeah.
Ever since JA, way back. I mean,
JA.
Way back. Couple people gonna know what that is.
I'm not one of them.
Man.
I was thinking it was a weird way to say junior high. That's
Johnny Appleseed Elementary School.
But yo, my son's JA too, man. John Adams, yo. He's rolling with
Oh,
the J.
wow,
He's
look
rolling
at
with
that.
y'all. John
Look at
Adams
that.
represent. Yeah.
Yo, we used to have the lunch table raps going on. People be beating on either a beatbox or they're hitting this stuff on the tables and we rapping.
So this is like when you hear stories of people that went to college together and played on the same basketball team and you didn't realize it when they were in the pros, man. So like you two were both MCs. So y'all were both MCing since whenever. And you guys had to have been holding down the corner of the school, man. It must have been like no competition. Like, what was that like?
Oh, we was tearing it up, man. We was tearing it up. We had a few cats with us though. Dane. Shout out to Dane. Left. Shout out to Left.
Yeah, bro.
You told me about Left, right?
It was a circle. Yeah, we'd be over at Left's house recording on
Left
his
has
karaoke
videos too
machine.
now, right?
He's the video
That
dude.
Left,
Yeah, I
okay,
showed
yeah.
you. Yeah, and we go up there. There'd be like 8 of us. One track. I just remember this one track. We had like 8 people in the room with this crusty mic. It was like, the best thing we could have at that time. Sweating. Yo, everybody had to rap their verse perfectly because we just kept passing the mic and we're popping the tape. And then we like, yo, let's do the ad libs. And then they take that tape that you recorded on, put it in the front, and then record it over that. Yo, classic
Word.
memories, man. How things have changed.
Now, did
Yes,
you guys
sir.
were you guys in a group together?
Yeah.
Was
More
that
or less.
I mean, like, was that just a crew? Or was it like a group, like y'all putting out music as a group? And
No,
what
we
was
had
that?
a group in Red October, and
Okay.
I think we switched the name though, right?
We had, yeah, like I remember it was like it went from City Limits, Red October Crew. We had Dane went off and did something. I can't remember the name of that. And then we had Drama Squad. We had, dude, it was
Drama
like,
Squad, yeah.
yeah, man, we had some
Wait a
pretty
minute.
cool
Did
stuff.
you say City Limits? I'm starting to understand here. Is this how your brother got down?
Yeah,
with the
so
whole
that's
City Limits
so
thing?
what I did. Yeah, City Limits was like my first baby. It was actually, I think that was me and Dane. We started
Okay.
that, and maybe my man Donnie. But I had that carved into my brother's arm. I drew the. It was like just a picture of a city and stuff. It was like an emblem, and that transitioned into the Red October thing. I think when we started linking up with Left and all that. Because I want to say, Abe, did I meet you through Left or I knew you before Left? I can't remember that. I think I knew you before because you was with Cessa.
Yeah. I think I knew you before left. Before that,
Yeah, yeah. Crazy though. So what's new, man? Tell the people what's going on with AVREX though, man. The music I've been hearing has been crazy. The people that you're working with, the legends, the man, speak on that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I mean,
Yeah.
I just stay grinding. I think the most relevant thing that I'm doing right now um, is just my ministry and seeking God and you
Mm.
know our fellowship and worshiping. You know that is the most significant part of my life.
Mm.
Everything else is a far second to that. Um, but I have the growth album that came out, which had No Malice on it from the clips. You know, we're in VA, so
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
we had a similar spiritual awakening uh, as it came out. We had the same creative director. Shout out to Batman, and he kind of put that together, and me and No Malice vibed out, and we still vibe out now. And but we had that record Step Into the Light, which was dope. Um,
I remember that joint when it came out. Yeah, that was hot.
yeah, yeah. The fellowship through that record was crazy. Like just to be able to work with a legend who was turning from the elements of being famous and these different things in the midst of that. You know, he had a show on Netflix and working with Pharrell at the time, and for him to just turn and say, you know what, all these things are secondary. I think that was dope, and that was part of like the theme of the album, right? So the album was growth, and that was like the theme of it is I was growing. I was growing spiritually, lyrically. I was growing. I was being pushed to limits that I didn't necessarily know that were possible for me, and God was responsible for all that. So that was dope. And of course, I worked with the big Cuzzo. Chrome was on there.
Shout out to Chrome.
Term
Shout out to Term.
Shout out to
and
him. Bro.
Knots, who was
Mhm.
an absolute
Ill,
beast.
ill. Yo, the stuff that he did on Crumb's album, that first album he had, bro, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Killer and
Working
Me,
with Knots.
that joint Killer and Me, that was my
Mhm.
anthem for a long time, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it turns out Knots lives like right next door to me. We live right around the corner from each other. So
That's crazy.
Wow, that's cool.
that was cool, man.
Mm.
And it was just like really kicking it off. I had T Hodge on there, who was a cat from New Mexico, dope producer, singer, young up and coming cat who was really on his grind. Um, so yeah, it was just a collective of, and there's no cursing on the album. All you know, I don't like to say positive. I don't because people have different meanings of what is positive or what. But what I
Speak on
aim
it.
to do is to
Mhm.
make it so that when you're in the car listening to a record and you know the kids is in the car, so you got to turn it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want that. You know what I'm
Right
saying?
there with
I want
you, man.
to listen to it all the way through without having to cut it down.
Yeah,
That's it.
right.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
right
You
way,
gotta-
man. That is the right way. We did
You
that
know,
with
'cause
our
that-
album, bro. We did that with our whole album too. No cussing, man.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. Because when you get older, you start to realize, like, look, man, people tend to do what they hear and see, you know, and you think you can tell somebody um, not to do something or whatever, but uh, that's just not the, you know, you got to work by actions. You know
Yo,
what I'm saying? People-
Rex, I was telling my son, a few people here a couple weeks ago about my son. You know, the episode I was talking about my son, and he was asking me. He gets real upset when people curse, right? Because he doesn't hear it at home, right? My music, there's none of that in there. We don't curse at home. Now, I'm gonna say I am no saint when the microphone is off. I still got a lot of work to do with my language, going back to old habits. And I can clearly do it. I can make the commitment when the mic is on, right? And I'm writing consciously, and I'll be like, yeah, I can come up with a better word than that.
There's a filter.
Yeah, and it's like I got a filter when I'm working at my job. I laugh with that with the people I work with all the time. You know, I'm a professor. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can you say you can't curse, right, when you can do it in your professional environment? Or if you're a student, you go to school all day and you're not cursing at your teachers, hopefully, right? And it's like you're not cursing at your grandma, hopefully. And we say all the time, like, no, that's just how I talk. No, it isn't just the way you talk. It's the way that it's a way that, you know, like I'm saying, I'm on both sides of that pendulum, because I'm saying here I am with the bad habits that are hard to break, but yet I can break them when my mindset is in the correct spot without a problem. But when I'm just chilling with my people, I just slide right into that and don't think anything of it. But in the back of my head, I hear myself going, did I really have to say that? You know what I'm saying? But I want to maintain that I've always been like that. I just, like you said, it's habit, and you just do it, and you say, who cares? Everyone else does it. So it's kind of like peer pressure. It's because we know it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? But we do it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how you made turn the corner, man. But it's
I would say it's natural, man. It's the sinful heart. Like, we're all born with this heart, right? That's just designated to sin, to do negative things. It's like drawn to do these things. You know what I'm saying? And it's very difficult to sometimes filter that out because we're not always walking in the spirit. We're not always conscious of what we're doing. And when we let go of that, it's just the natural thing that our heart, that we're born into. It's like, I tell people all the time, like, I got a 9-month-old. And it's like,
Congratulations on that, brother.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah. COVID baby, that was crazy. That was crazy. But there's times that she reaches and grabs, and you kind of feel like the intent is to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, this is an infant. And then you look at, I have a 2-year-old. Does she sin? Yeah. She, it's natural. It's how we're born. We're born into this world. We're born into these sinful hearts, these sinful, deceptive. It's a lie. We love things that are bad for us, right? We like all these things that are detrimental to everything we do, and we're drawn to them, and we sometimes will even fight people for them when they're pulling in the opposite direction, right? So it's just like this natural sinful heart, and as we look at sin and understand that, it's like the Bible gives a perfect description of the truth of that. Like we can like, there's a reality of it. We can act like we don't, want to say the truth of it or what's happening or that we're upset because somebody used the last piece of toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? And we're in the bathroom. Example. We're in the bathroom cursing. You know what I'm saying?
That's the perfect analogy of it all, bro.
We're in there cursing them out.
Yeah.
It
teaches peace. It teaches peace in the soul when you can, because I get the same deal with Pro saying, like, I actually, when I moved, this is how it all started with cussing, believe it or not. To me, getting to that tip, when you move down south and you start seeing the racist stuff happening, like for real, it made me appreciate words differently at that point. I started to adjust. And I stopped, like Pro said, instead of the peer pressure. I was like, I'm strong enough a leader. I'm not going to participate. When you start going off the handle cussing, you're going to be like, yo, crews don't cuss a lot. I kind of wanted to leave people with that. And it was funny because I would be cussing more in my rhymes than I would be when I was having conversations. Prior to this whole shift of now going 100% clean, because I like it like that. It's peaceful like that. And you're right. It's like what we do, Ave, is we all make grown man music. Period. We out of high school, bro. Done. And I wanted to say, I think I seen your wife in there, so I got a shout out to all the beautiful queens. I know I recognize the last name, and I said that got to be Ave's wife in the comments.
That's wifey.
Yeah, shout out to all the queens, because without them, right, that's another part of the puzzle, that the Adam and Eve aspect. You got to have your Eve, man. If you don't got your Eve, there's a problem.
It's funny how
you got a demon usually.
It's funny how it's our kids though that will make us be on that grown man tip, right? Mm-hmm. It's like
elevated.
Kids, babies are making us be on our grown man, or grown woman. You know what I'm saying? What I was getting with AVREX is I was like, my son had a tear in his eye when I was telling him, when he said, "Daddy, did you used to curse in your records?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like going, but why did you, Daddy? I don't understand. Like, his vision of me is that I'm without sin, right? Like, his vision of me is like, which I love, but I always have to point him in the right direction. Be like, look, I'm not perfect, son. Like, I'm a work in progress. We all are. But he's let down by that, and he's like, Daddy, I just don't understand. And like, he asked about you all the time. You know that, right? He goes, when did Jay curse in his music? I don't understand though. Why would anyone do that? So we can raise them in that light, but it's tough. I mean, people come in your house. I mean, my son gets upset when I say heck now. And he's no pushover. I mean, it's not like he's some soft kid. He's like, he'll bap you inside of the head when you're not looking in a second. He's doing his black belt test tomorrow, actually. But he's like, he'll go flying off a couch and kick you and tackle you when you're not looking. But you say the wrong word to him, his emotional, component. He's a very strong feeler or whatever. And our kids, we're letting them down. You know what I'm saying? By like,
I think that's
bad
dope.
Examples.
I think that's really dope, because we all have this general revelation of God, right? Of good. Like, we're born with a general understanding between good and bad. And this is where Jesus says to be like little children, to be like kids. Because that revelation is less corrupt at that point. Although it's still there, right? But I mean, that's a blessing to have a child that is there, and it's like we have to protect that. Yeah. And that's why the clean music is important. The message is important. What we're dropping. I did a record with Spliff Star, and me and Spliff were being managed by Jimmy Kang. Shout out Jimmy Kang. We were being managed Jimmy Kang at the same time there, and I went to Brooklyn and we were hanging out, and I was like, yo, Spliff, there's no cursing on the record. And if you want to say something that touches the heart. And we did the record. He put some two cats from his squad. Bo Nasty was on there. Shout out Bo Nasty. He's from Brooklyn as well. And, after that session, they said that was a great experience, that they don't do music like that, that it actually felt good and positive. It felt in the right direction. And, I equate that to the general revelation of God's goodness, his omnipotence. I mean, he's just great. And every good thing that we see in life is from that, in my perspective. That's my perspective.
Word.
It's a really dope perspective, though.
I don't think that perspective will lead you the wrong way necessarily.
Nah, you can only go the right way with that. Literally, right?
We definitely all need, whether it's God, whether it's children, whether it's just some kind of awakening that happens, and realize people are listening to us. You know what I'm saying? It's like people do listen, and it makes an impact. It certainly can make an impact at home. It can make an impact with just like the way your neighbor treats you, the way that you interact. I'm terrible with that. I moved here to, you were talking about the VA thing. I moved down here, granted it's northern VA, but AVREX, I'm interested in your experience when you moved down here. Did you notice a tangible difference in the way people act than the Northeast? Did it strike you differently, or was it new for you? How did that work for you? Because for me, I've definitely noticed the difference, and I noticed a lot of the errors in some of my ways from being in the different cultures.
I think Virginia is it's similar to it's similar to Mass, but it's way different, right? So the common courtesy where in Virginia, if somebody don't like you, if they're racist, you're gonna know.
They're gonna tell you. Yeah.
In Massachusetts, you're not gonna know.
Right. Exactly.
You'll observe it kinda.
Exactly.
In time, but you won't know off rip.
And deeper than that, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Right. They'll swear up and down they ain't racist. And they'll be like, I'm not me.
Yeah, right. But in Virginia here, yeah, there's a difference. I think people are nicer in
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Holding doors and thank you, and
walking down the street and someone saying hi to you.
Jay, you did VA time too. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, that was life changing, man.
You weren't locked, but you were living down here.
Because I was going through that stage of that ice grill, constantly got to keep a mask up to I don't want to mess with you type thing. Like just stay away, stay away emotions. Yeah, exactly. Right. Drake, I love Drake. Man. Stop that. But you know what I mean, like that emotional.
That's what they say, man, not me.
Yeah. That emotional shield was just always up. And then I think it was last episode I was telling you about when I was ordering McDonald's and I was mean, and then I started smiling and whatever. Small awakenings. And when I moved to VA and I saw things I really didn't know still existed as heavily as they did, and then I seen how great people could be if they didn't know you. Like, if I don't know you, why the hell are you talking to me? And everybody's doing it. So I'm like, I'm the weird one, you know what I mean? And then come to find out these people is cool. It's like, wow, my whole perspective changed. And when I came back to this, the East Coast up north, I carried that. Dude, I still got the draw, like so much influence from them, from being in that culture. You know what I mean? And I'll never take one moment away from that experience in those few years I was there.
But when I go back home, I'm like smiles and what's up to everybody. I don't even let them suck me dry no more.
Nah, I used spiritual vampires.
Like off the plane, I'd be like, "Oh, here it goes." Now,
switch.
I'm just like, "Hey, let's roll. Let's roll."
Yeah,
I can't do it in New York though. The bigger the city, man, I just like, I just can't do it. It's just like,
well, after 7:30, don't do it. But if it's before 7:30, you could kind of do it.
Depends where you are.
I get that, but that's so true. It is true. I like the small. I can't wait to go to Mississippi when we do that Freedom Corner joint. That's gonna be cool, man. I want to take that trek. And especially have Fly. Oh yeah, hopefully Fly coming on. I sent him the link. He's another feature on our album. He goes by Fly, which is Forever Lives Yahweh. Same thing, clean music, really spiritual. Emphasizes the spirituality a lot, but it's super fly. He's from Mississippi too, so he's got that dope accent, man. I love it.
Speaking of music, here we got to run some AVREX, man. Can we run?
I know it's long overdue. Please do. I had a request too, actually, that I wanted to, man, but I didn't have enough time to find. But I'm gonna. I
think we're gonna play that growth. We're playing something. I think we getting into that growth. I think step into the light. We're gonna run that. Is that cool?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why don't you introduce it, Abe?
Yeah. Why don't you give us the real introduction? Let me stop that.
This is one of the singles off the album Growth. Step into the Light, produced by my man Astro. He's out of Lawrence. Shout out to Astro, featuring No Malice from the Clips. Step into the light. Let's go.
All right. AVREX, here we go.
Step into the light. We all gon' die one day. Go to sleep, we gon' fly one day. Step into the light. Pay for your sins one day. You'll have to go repent one day. Step into the light. We all gon' die one day. Go to sleep, we gon' fly one day. Step into the light. Pay for your sins one day. You'll have to go repent one day. Step into the light.
Bear witness, the truth is the light of men. Even in the darkest pit, you can see the light again. Can't tell me nothing with all the hell that I done been. Even at times, I still feel that it's hell I'm in. Lose or win, either way it's elementary. I'm doing good, having escaped a quarter century. Only by the blood, there's no other way of entry. Last supper, fine arts, I am a Da Vinci. Simply put, I paint pictures. Y'all can't believe they ain't scriptures. Lift us up, oh Lord, like Noah in the ark. I want us all on board. The price been paid that none can afford. He gave us his word just to fall on sword. Swore by his own name, no higher oath. Me, I'm just a no-name, sharing what I know.
Step into the light. We all gon' die one day. Go to sleep, we gon' fly one day. Step into the light. Pay for your sins one day. You'll have to go repent one day. Step into the light. We all gon' die one day. Go to sleep, we gon' fly one day. Step into the light. Pay for your sins one day. You'll have to go repent one day. Step into the light. Let the devil's level, shovel the tragedy. Your majesty rapidly, actually display the masterpiece. The capities martyred before the father's not a tragedy. Will happily oblige, show a unified faculty. Mastering the book and study, learning the laws too. Riding for the cause, engaging my flaws too. Smack me, turn the other cheek. I show you what that cross do. Forgiveness for being forgiven. That's why I lost you. Went from pitching in kitchens to serving God's mission. From fishing for fishes to fishing for God's missing. We all victims of sin and some indulge in linen. Some fast cars and women detached from the feeling. Let it go like you selling it online, cause he ain't leaving. He a perfect 10 like Cal next to Keenan. And I ain't dreaming, I'm believing in the most high. The devil still slithers, so you watch him with both eyes. We all gon' die one day. Go to sleep, we gon' fly one day. Step into the light. Pay for your sins one day. You'll have to go repent one day. Step into the light. We all gon' die one day. Go to sleep, we gon' fly one day. Step into the light. Pay for your sins one day. You'll have to go repent one day. Step into the light.
Step into the light. Yeah.
Yo, and make sure y'all check that video out on YouTube if you haven't checked it out. Search exactly what you're seeing on that screen right there.
They're trying to play more. Yeah, man. Dope.
Crazy dope, man.
Yeah, you work that in
Crazy
seamlessly, man. The way you crafted that with the lyrics, man. It's good. You know, we say this to Fly also too. Fly is a kind of cat who he's preaching, but he's not preaching. You know what I mean? He's not beating you over the head with it, which will turn off a certain segment of the population, because his skills are nice and it's subtle. But when you listen back, you go, "Oh, there it is. Okay, now I get that message." You know what I mean? And that's a talent in itself. You know what I'm saying?
We might have to play Ave that he prays.
Oh, he prays. Yeah, we can play.
That's kind of that's kind of to show him Fly too.
Yeah, absolutely,
bro. But I love that, man. And excuse me, hold on. That joint that you did with Suge and Guru. I think you did two. Wasn't it two? Did you do two?
Yeah, we did 2 records, man. We did Propaganda, which
Propaganda. That's hot.
DJ Lord Ron did produce that joint. Lord Ron had that in his archives, and Guru had called me to the studio in New York.
That's a great way to start a sentence.
Guru, exactly.
The studio.
Repeat that.
Is that true? Did that happen? It's like, wow.
Yeah, that was a big homie right there, man. And he had me get on this record that DJ Lord Ron produced. Lord Ron got it, and after Guru had passed, I reached out to him, and he was like, "Yo, I've been looking for you." And we just had been chopping it up, vibing. He was like, "Yo, I got this Guru record, that's in the archive. Let's do something." And I called him. It just started right. We started right where me and Guru left off, and Suge jumped on it. I got a new joint with Suge too, Pushing, featuring Suge and Domingo Gaitans on that joint. But yeah, we did that Propaganda, and then we did another joint for Guru on Growth with Crumb, because I thought it was important.
That was the one I heard. I think too recently.
From
That's crazy, man. It's funny. I've never had a chance to meet. I've met everyone around Guru. never crossed paths with Guru. Suge, definitely hung out with Suge. Spent a lot of time with him. I haven't seen him in a minute, but he's a great dude. Obviously, people that know him know that. I don't have to say any more on that, but absolutely, there's one of the realest dudes, man. And I've only known him, probably with him like 2 or 3 times, and it's enough. But Guru, man, I never had the good fortune of crossing paths with him. I mean, I know the original, most of the cats from the Gangstar Posse back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Just those paths never really crossed, and I feel like I missed out on that because he's certainly an inspiration, man. So that's amazing.
For sure.
And it still is an inspiration. You was talking about jazz earlier, and the first thing that popped in my head was like
Jasmine Taz. Yeah, man.
That was no doubt. Popped in because it's like we need to get back to that.
Absolutely. And shout out to the cat who was shouting out France there too. Shout out to MC Solar, man. I don't really know what happened to that dude. I don't know the whole story, all that stuff too. But that dude was making the moves back in the day too. But yeah, man. So for you, man, it must be like old hat when you think about like, who am I gonna work on over the record? You've got to work with some definite legends in the game. Now, for you, when you're doing music at this stage of your career, do you approach it the same way? Like, are you like still how you were when you were a kid? Like, man, I'm in the booth with Guru or Suge or whatever. Like, is it still old hat for you, or does it still like give you the butterflies, man, when you go in there to do your thing? Like, how does that work?
Well, I think when I was younger, I was so much in the streets that I really didn't get the chance to understand the situations I was in. You know what I'm saying? I was, and I think Guru kind of liked that because I could care less.
Wow, yeah.
And I was kind of like, y'all ain't cutting me a check for real.
Yeah.
Like I need to go back to the block. So are we done here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was the. I think now it's like switch. Like now I look back and I'm like, or who I'm working with, I'm like, man, this is a blessing to rock with somebody who's been in all these different areas of music. I can appreciate it now. I didn't really appreciate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Full-fledged, absolutely.
Jay and I talk about this on the side a lot. Talk about like, I've got a chance to meet like probably thousands of established artists in the game, and it's like I was kind of the same way, but for different reasons. Like I was never, I'd meet somebody and I feel like that they'd have success, but it wasn't someone who I was like, this person's like a real beast. When I'd meet a real beast, I'd be like, but I'd always want to talk business. I was never like on fanboy moment. There's a few artists I fanboyed out on, but for the most part, it was like, I was just like, like, what's the next move kind of thing. But this stage of my life, and really even the last like decade, I've never pursued any of that stuff. I've never been one to be like, let me call up blah, 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 who I got their personal number to. You know what I'm saying? I've done hella shows with, and I'm not calling them up to be like, you should jump on a track, just because it hasn't never felt organic for me. And however, now that we got a project, it's kind of like, okay, am I being silly? Like, should I really, should be exploiting those friendships and connections just for the business side? And I think that's always a catch-22 too.
And I think it's different now too, because like you don't need a name on your records anymore. Like and the independence is like it's like everybody's on an equal playing field or a level playing field. You know what I'm saying? Like is putting X, Y, and Z on this record going to increase the sales that much?
Typically, it's no.
It's not. It's not, but it's good experience, and it's nice that now a lot of these artists that we began looking up to in the beginning of our careers or the beginning love of music, they're accessible now. Yeah. So that's why I think that I'm like, if you have the opportunity, I think everybody should take it, fulfill some of that stuff.
That was all. That's how the whole thing planted. I'd be a good thing, man. Yeah. Equal playing field. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. This is a whole nother game right now.
Yeah, man.
You know?
I've always felt like if it's the mesh of the track, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to just call someone. Like, I'm thinking in my head of a few people that we really probably should be doing some tracks with, and I'm always like, let me wait till there's a track that really works for that person. That's kind of how I balance it. I don't want to call someone up and just be like, hey, you want to be on a track? And they're like, what's the track about? The track's about you being on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
we all get those phone calls. You know what I'm saying? I talk to people all the time, and it'd be like, yeah, this is what I'm planning to do with the track, and it's okay. It's a beat. There's no hook. There's no verse. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, so the plan is what exactly?
Give them the bare bones. It's just a dead body at that point, bro.
You want me to do all the work? Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And
organization is key for sure.
Yeah. In the airplay era, it was like, oh, and I want to borrow your airplay credibility. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, but like you said, that's kind of subsided a lot, so you don't have to worry about that as much now. But it still helps. But different levels. So how do you pursue music now? Being out here, is it mostly online? What you doing? Are you trying to travel back and forth, or how's your world revolving around the state of the world these days, and where you are?
Well, I think this is this market is dope. Like Virginia market is crazy. I live in the 7 cities, so there's 7 cities that you can tear it up. You got Virginia Beach, Newport News, Hampton, Norfolk, Chesapeake. Like it's so big. It's like you got half of the state to go on.
Yeah. Is the Pharrell Festival happening this year?
I don't think so. I think they pushed it back again.
For real? Like they're gonna really do it when they push it back, or are they just pushing it back like we're not gonna do it?
They're definitely gonna do it again. I mean, because the last one was off the chain. I didn't go, but just seeing the hotels and how quick the tickets went and the vibe out there, they're definitely going to do it again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm waiting for it to come next year.
Yeah. Okay.
That's dope.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Virginia was always there. Yeah, music is crazy. How many radio stations? There's so many radio stations for hip hop in VA. It's like endless.
There's like 4 or 5 in my market.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
There's like 4 or 5 here.
Online radio too.
Yeah.
That is actually popping. Like they're actually popping. Like you'll go by the online radio station, there'll be a line of people around the corner at the online radio station. So
what's funny is when I switched vehicles, I don't have Sirius in my car right now, right? I had it, and I had a couple different apps or whatever, and I haven't really bothered to mess with them. So when I get in the car and I'm waiting for my stuff to stream in or whatever, kick in for the Bluetooth, I actually do hit a lot of the radio stations now. It's kind of funny. Like I listen to radio stations now more than I ever have because I don't really know the market out here like that. And the difference in the music scene from like you say, from here to Boston, just in terms of Boston's always been whack straight up in terms of what the commercial stations play, with the exception of like ILD and Hot 97 for a quick minute and maybe, specialty shows on Jammin'. I mean, there's no urban music in Boston. There really never has been. It's always been about DJs and mixtapes and what you can hear in the clubs or on the streets. And it's not true down here. Down here, I'll test the waters all the time. I'll ask for someone from Boston if they heard this particular record. They ain't heard the record, and then the record will come out.
It'll come on
4
months later.
And I'll be like, yo, you know what I mean? Whether it's a Mustard track or whatever, a Roddy Ricch track. I remember talking to you, Jay, about a Roddy Ricch track. I was like, oh, yeah, that track.
I know, yeah. I was like, no, I'm just hearing it now.
I just heard it came on, like, for the first time.
I was doing the same thing when I was talking to people back home. I'm like, yo, you ain't heard that record yet? No. And then 3-4 months later, they're like, yeah, now we get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's been going on forever. Like, I remember going to Philly and hearing the radio station and, like, driving back and get here and be like, yo, you heard this joint, nobody heard. Some records don't even make it out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But once you get in that market, that's a great market to be in right there.
That is one of the best. Boston is one of the best markets. If you're in there, they're gonna rotate it all day and night.
How do people find your music most easily? Just your name's pretty unique, right?
Yo, P.S. Perkins in the building.
What up? Shout out, P.S.
P.S. I was listening to your poem today on a beat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Final Fire, crazy. Appreciate
AVREX, how they find you? How they find you?
Spotify, I like Spotify.
That's where you send people, right? Just AVREX. You're probably the only one, right?
Yeah, AVREX on Spotify, Apple Music, all that. But I like Spotify because a lot of people use it, and you understand how to market those platforms, and you get a lot of new users, new listeners through that platform. But I think that's one of the better ones. They actually pay you.
Yeah, exactly.
The pennies really do come. Yeah.
Between them and Apple Music, they pay out. So I like them guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there?
I'm feeling the same way.
I've been asking artists this a lot more, and Jay and I still talk about this. The decline of not only radio station. Well, let's start in order, right? The decline of physical copy material, right? Records and CDs, right? Gone, right? The decline of MP3s to streams, right? So it's all streams. There's no physical merchandise. Is there a need for a website in this day and age? Do you even think the website is relevant? Like, do you have a website personally?
I have a website, AVREXDecipher.com.
Okay.
But I think that I really like what Nipsey Hussle did. I forget his name, but there's this smartphone app where it texts people your information. It gives you a much personal connection with
Superphone.
With the fan. Superphone. There you go. I used that for a little while, and I like the results from it. But I think now you have to be so in touch with your fan base. I think it's beyond music, right? Because you look at what happens with the artists who are, selling their soul or doing whatever. It's usually coming from a different type of relationship, whether it's the streets and they've been following them in the streets, and it's the same way in the beginning of hip hop where like you could start to see the money come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Common was rapping about that. You went with Bad Boy for a little bit, and then you seen the Thieves and the Crooks came in, and now it's happening again. Like you see hip hop so repetitive. Yeah. Now it's like coming in with the drill scene, and you're smoking on somebody. Mm-hmm. See, so it seems like it's always plugged into something else. So it's kind of like it's not necessarily, in marketing, it's not necessarily the platform, but the reach, the connection you have with people. You can almost not put out much music and just socially be involved with them. And when you drop it, it's cracking.
Isn't that incredible how that paints a big fly?
Yeah, I that's
he came in.
I like the way he put that though. I like the way he put that.
Up, Fly?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Chilling, man.
Man, it's a pleasure being here as always.
Back to back, and it's all because I was texting the wrong phone number, bro. He would have been here every episode. The co-host.
Yeah, sometimes we do that.
We do sometimes. Okay.
We try to make it tricky. We don't see how much dedication people have, right? We're gonna give you the wrong links, the wrong phone.
Yeah, exactly. LD the same situation. Anyway, that's a whole nother story.
Oh man,
Fly, what do you do to make sure that people can find you, man? What, you send them all in one place? You do a website? What do you do? Is it social media? Are you reaching out to them personally? How do you hit them?
Well, I think it's more advantageous to try to get people all into one place. Mm-hmm. Just give it.
We lost your audio there for a second.
Oh, we lost your audio, bro.
It's hard. It's hard.
There you go.
Really do that with people. It's just so many other platforms and so much stuff that we use with the music side. It's really tough to say that I actually do one thing though. I'm trying.
I feel like we're gonna look back at this era and be like almost like it was a lost time. I don't mean COVID. I just mean this general time frame that we're living in, where there's no simple one place where people can go to do it. We feel in our head it's like it's Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. But Google's obviously gonna be making a major splash when anything that happens in the future as well. You know, we know the Googles and YouTubes, how all that works, but Facebook, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like we're just in this weird void time where it's not simple. It's not simple for us as artists to sell stuff. It's not simple to, you know, it's like streaming. We're going to look back at this like we did at iPods, I think. Be like, remember back when we used to stream music? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I think in addition to that too, Pro, is because of the saturation of the market. So it's not just the fact that the outlets are in abundance, but the art isn't like in the all-time
It's
high.
like 80,000 tracks a day to Spotify, right?
Right. So, you know,
crazy.
we were just talking about this last week where it was kind of like, you know, back in the day, you had a more simple approach to how you would do things. And, you know, it was so much more expensive to record music, to find a producer, to especially talk about shooting videos and all that. But now it's so affordable, you don't really need, I mean, you can make a $500 investment and you can do your own tracks.
But if AVREX got legends like he's talking about, right? He got legends, right?
Yeah.
That are going to be on the track with him. It's like, how do we, if you're an artist coming
I
up,
think,
it's
I,
like,
yeah,
how
I
do they
think
even find that record? You know what I'm saying? Like, because those
I
artists
think
aren't
with,
going to market that record on their own.
Well, you know, AVREX is saying too, and I believe that this is kind of what's pivoted all of us into the same position, is showing who you are honestly in any way, however you do it. But as long as you're using social media to project yourself out, the music becomes then the fallback. But, you know, you can't, like you said, if you have a legend on your record, that doesn't really make a difference nowadays. Right now, what's more important is doing stuff like this. Yeah, right. And then as you accumulate that mass, and then you maybe have the superphone, and now you're talking about. I think the superphone, in my mind, is the most important thing once you've amassed enough numbers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Once
if you have 100 numbers, it's not 1,000. You know.
Yeah,
that's what
I would say this on that level though, not to discount having a legend on, because you can market a lot easier with that, right? So like if you're, say I take No Malice track, right, and I center it towards my Instagram, and now I'm only promoting it to people who like the clips or Pharrell. It does increase the chances of people coming to listen to it, stream it, buy it, like it, become a fan. That
targeting that market.
It makes it a better target point when you're actually going to push something. If you have like a Big Shug, and I'm just marketing the Gangstar fan. That's all I'm talking to. That's who my focus is. It does help in that aspect, you know.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I went to a music conference in Boston, and I think it was in Berkeley, and I caught the tail end of this piece, and they were talking. I want to say the year was probably like 2000. I'm gonna go with 11, and it was either 2010 or 2011, and they were talking about streaming before streaming was really a thing, right? And they were like, this guy just got up, and everyone knew what was coming that was really in the know. And they were like, look, this whole downloading the stuff is dead. You know, maybe it was even 9. Could have even been 2000. I got married in 2010. It was like plus or minus 1 year from there. And so the deal was, it's like everybody was sitting there still with their iPods for the most part, right? It was how people were listening to stuff.
Right.
And they were like, okay, so imagine this device goes away, and now it's just your phone. Now it's just your smartphone that is the central vehicle, and you pay monthly to have that. And that's going to be, they're like, that's going to be the way of the world. It's already done. They're like, this is a done deal. It's coming.
TV's doing it now. Come on, man.
Yeah. But this, what I was saying though, is this was in 09. My point isn't about the streaming. It's just what's that next thing, right? And so the people that jumped on that early are billionaires. You know what I'm saying? The people that really figured it out and really nailed it. And the thing is like right now, everyone's so chasing the Spotify, the Apple Music or whatever, and it's like for breadcrumbs, you know what I'm saying? And like as AVREX said, at least they pay, right? So if you can get a volume up there, at least there's something, you know. But that something is so small compared to, let's say back in the day, you had a real buzz. You could sell $30,000 worth of albums easy. It's not hard, you know what I'm saying? Now, you know how long it takes you to make $30,000? I mean, it's insane. You know, it's discouraging. It's like, so what's the next thing we can do to I don't care if it's record sales, but it's
I'll
like,
tell
what's
you
the
what,
next thing we can do?
this man named Yoda, right? This girl of mine gave me the answer to this already, and it is apps.
I'm wondering what he told you.
Apps, right? You have your app. Your app, that's a subscription based idea, where apps I think are the future, and it's obviously subscription based kind of deals, but better than the smartphone or superphone I think would be that, having your own app where everything's accessible and updated often, as long as you could stay on top of it. I think that's a big future.
I think that's a powerful concept, because the whole concept of the superphone is to disregard all the other platforms, right? To make your own
bypass it,
platform, cut off all the middlemen, all the, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we have to do as artists, especially being independent. Also have a package to go along with it, not just selling music, but people love to see what else you're doing. If you like to cook, if you like to do this, do that, and you selling barbecue sauce, now your album's with some barbecue sauce. You got to get the barbecue sauce on the album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You got to start throwing some stuff in there with them. So now you're selling a $60, $70 package, much different than selling a $9. Well, you can't really sell a $9.99 CD no more.
No, right.
Yeah,
Look at our homeboy DJ Cavum. Cavum is a vegan rapper, right? Heavily saturated in his bars, his videos. It's like amazing how he does this. He does it so clean, and he sells his album on a bag of seeds that's biodegradable. You plant it, and you the seeds go right back into the earth. It's like incredible.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, man. I was like, dude, you got your deal down. You having these people grow some tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? Biodegradable. It's like
that's the answer to the question.
What up, Lorena? How you doing?
That's the answer to the
Lorena,
question.
we gotta get Lorena. We talk about branding. She is the branding queen. And by the way, if y'all aren't hip to Lorena Acosta, you gotta check out her LinkedIn page. Watch how she markets herself. She markets herself organically. She got millions of followers off of just posting like real life content, like real life stuff, like what she's feeling, no filter, just kind of like this is how it is, and just slow, steady growth. She's a genius. We got to have her on sometime.
Yeah, I've heard a lot
shout
about
out to
you,
Lorena.
For real, Lorena.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the different. I mean, my thing is this: is that I guess my larger point is. It's the people that do jump on sort of what that next thing is and can see where the trend is going, or they can create it, right? You either create it or you jump on early enough. And it feels like right now we're in the middle of a valley where everybody's sort of copying the formula that's out with maybe some sort of spinning of wheels that really aren't gaining any traction in terms of what that new direction will be. And a lot of us are just making our own path whether it's webcast or whether it's, whether people are on different social media platforms and trying to customize them, like you said, similar to the idea of almost like a link tree in a way, right? But a cooler way of trying to arrange you have all your ducks in a row, and you say, this is mine, whether it's my website that brands that, whether it's a Wakelet, it's another site that does that, a link tree, those are coming. But to AVREX's point, I kind of feel like bundling is kind of what he's saying. It's like if you can bundle and package up a whole bunch of services and have those under some kind of platform that is yet to exist but can be slick and can, but that takes a lot of connecting the threads. You know what I'm saying?
Pro, do you think that this valley is like the beginning of a new era? Like, the industrial era, all these different eras of time. Do you think that this is the beginning of all that? I got Robbie.
If we truly, he's looking for that link. If we truly are in the valley,
my man Robbie, I'm about to hit you. I'm about to hit you with the.
He muted himself. If we're really in a valley, because by definition, what valleys are, right, is there places where it's about to come back up, right? So, on both sides of that valley, right? But I feel like we're in it, and that's what I'm saying exactly to your point, Jay, is that I feel like there's going to be a trajectory that's going to change. That may not be next week, but you can feel it in the air that this is a strange time, you know, in terms of like people are floundering, like which way do I market myself? Which way do I? And that's why I'm so happy Lorena's checking us out, because that's something well, her expertise, and I would love to pick your brain on that too, Lorena, next time we get a chance. But we'll have you up. But and by the way, next week I should say this, we're having not 100% confirmed, it's like 99% confirmed. Dr. V is going to be up. She got a new book out, so good friend of mine. Dr.
Oh yeah, that's right. That just dropped. Yeah.
Yeah, her book's out. She's an amazing educator, artist. She's been Educator of the Year out there at out at USC. She's at UCLA, I believe, as well too. She's teaching all over the place, but she's like one of those educator, musician, poets, activists kind of people that you just got to meet. She's a Massachusetts connection, but anyway, she'll be out. So shout out to her. But we got to dig into that.
I think next time she does something, when she does it, because she's going to do that again, I think, right?
Yeah,
that little workshop. We got to get. We'll hit y'all with the link because you guys would love it. It's really,
nothing
really
little about
powerful. She had me writing poetry for the first time like decades, man. I'm like,
that's right, man.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
But I didn't mean to throw us all off.
NFTs and album sales. Keyshawn said, or Keyshin. Yo, I'm destroying your name, bro. I apologize, but yeah, NFTs. That's why I said, is it a new era? And I missed that, but.
Well, I was just saying, I think whenever you're in a valley, I do think it has to traject up, right? Because that's the definition of a valley, right? And so mathematically, right, we don't want to go that way, but just for the basics, right, we're sitting in it, right? And we're sitting in it. And, there has to be a way to come out.
I think we're in an interesting transition phase, too, specifically speaking as artists. In the past, outside of, your platforms, once we hit this trend that we're in now with social media, even YouTube, it wasn't necessarily made for artists. You know what I mean? And so now you're starting to see apps pop up that's exclusively for musicians. But it's still social media, like Loom, other websites like that. So if someone is specifically wanting to be social with musicians, there are going to be web apps that's only going to be about, won't stumble across an Instagram model. They won't stumble against a House of Highlights page. It'll be 100% music related. So when people start to look for, there's platforms now being created that's 100% musician related for producers to collab with artists. Where you ain't necessarily got to look for producers anymore. A producer can post a beat and
Jordan got something like that. What with the Tully app? Jordan, something like that.
So I think that might be one of the ways we kind of get into as musicians. But as we all know, everything has its peaks and its valleys. We don't know what's going to be next. Right. Even though we had an idea that streaming was coming, we didn't know which streaming platform to engage with. I'm sure it was several of them, but Spotify took off.
And Clubhouse certainly foreshadows the different direction that you can see things starting to tweak. It's like, okay, now that's a little, that's a little out the box in terms of being able to personalize and customize, kind of like you're saying. It's back to AVREX's point too. It's like, it's in a spin-off of that idea, it's like if you did have something that could bundle or could customize and you could put a bunch of things together and then draw your own people, bring them all into your brand, and have social media working for you where it's customized. That seems to be the direction it's heading in, but what tipping point is going to hit is sort of anyone's guess, right? In terms of what's going to freak off from that,
that customability thing too. When I've seen some apps where now you can pay to have Snoop say hi or happy birthday or something like that. All these things where all these great artists and people that back in the days it was like, there ain't no chance you're gonna meet this person unless you go to a show and see him by chance. Now it's like everything is at the fingertips. And if you pay, exactly. You could speak with Travis Scott right now on Clubhouse. Boom. Like, really? You know what I mean? So it's a whole nother. It is a whole nother world, and where as elders in this, artistry, we're having to adjust. And luckily, I feel like we are on the right path because we doing it during the time when a lot of people get, they hung it up.
And before
I go to like an old man because I don't like this. I don't like the direction we're going in. It's every Wednesday, right? Me and my family go out to Norfolk on the water side, and we go to this spot, and the spot got $2 burgers.
What?
And these $2 burgers are slamming. I mean, they are slapping. You will go back there and slap the taste out of that chef's mouth. I'm telling you, they that good.
Yeah.
But you know they're not making any money off the $2 burgers.
It's their sodas. Whatever. Their beers.
Everybody at the chair for the drinks, for whatever else. And I think that's kind of where we're at. From a marketing perspective. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to use the tools that are there to be able to get them to the drinks. You know what I'm saying? We're giving them the services, $2 burgers, give them the Spotify, give them the Apple Music. You can get all that. You can get all that. I had a conversation with a legend, and this dude told me, he said, I was explaining to him how I just got into television and production and TV. I did production on a show, Love After Lockup. And the royalties from that is much different.
Oh, yeah.
TV royalties are a little bit different, bro.
That's real deal.
Yeah, facts.
TV is different. And I'm used to getting my royalty check and like, whatever.
Whatever. Exactly. I know you mean.
And here it just showed a whole different side of the possibilities of what music can do. And this producer told me, he was like, man, that's all we do. He said that's all we've been doing. This is all I'm not worried. I wasn't worried about the pandemic. I'm not worried about the pandemic. I broke everybody off, and this is how we've been eating. You know, the live shows are done. If you can't do live shows, you know, I was supposed to go overseas. You know, I was supposed to been gone. But if you can't do that stuff, if you can't go overseas, you can't even do a show at home, throw your own backyard barbecue show, then I mean,
take care of the rain and thank you.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And TV is a definite line with music that I think a lot of artists need to look at.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I agree wholeheartedly about that. And sponsorships.
Oh yeah.
Sponsorships. That's what we all about on the Pro Quo Show.
Just what y'all are doing.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a nice,
I mean,
most
in the
official
academic
artificial
world,
sponsorship.
in the academic world, we chase grants, right? So that's what we do in the academic world. We chase grants, and so it's similar to the nonprofit world. I mean, most academic institutions are nonprofit, so you're chasing grant money, and that's another thing that's like, if you really understand how the grant game works in higher ed, people are taking off on the grant, and really becoming sustainable off that. And it's similar to a sponsorship. It's like, here's somebody who has a cause and something that they want to promote and or a product, a service, what have you, and you are an ambassador for that same kind of thing. And that's like the thing about the four of us sitting here on this, somewhat coincidentally, somewhat intently, is like, you put yourself in good stead to be able to do some of those things without trying. It's not like we're making clean music because we want to chase sponsors, but if you're clever about that, you can have that pay off for you. It'd be like, look, my stuff's clean. I'm not trying to, I'm not talking about axe murder. You know what I mean?
I had a little vision, right, where I was like, you know what? Imagine having like the backyard barbecue throwdown, and you have like a roster of artists, all clean, all dope, and you're serving Kool-Aid, so that the kids and the family can come out in the afternoon and listen to some hip hop.
This became a rhyme.
It probably did.
It became one that last weekend on that track. That's what you were rhyming
Oh, that's
about.
right. That's what. Thanks for reminding me. I just recorded the joint.
That's
like 2 days ago.
A quote feature. Yeah, man.
Yeah. But it's like, that feeling of what that does to my mind when I think about some hip hop music with a bunch of families chilling, not having to worry about, like Abe said, cutting it. And my alternative was to say, well, if we have like a DJ playing some radio edited stuff, but it would be just so much better having artists that we all involved with, clean music, coming together for the community, right? Serving Kool-Aid, and we get, make the money off the Kool-Aid.
Ain't that what Master P did?
It sounds like, there you go.
He said Walmart's not going to give us no money. He said we got to cut this out.
Yeah.
And they stopped it. And he went on to sign a multi-million-dollar deal with Walmart.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, man, we got to get on in there and just. I think, which being in the hospitality industry for over a decade, that's always been the play. I mean, you take what most people may not readily identify is that a steak costs you more to produce, right? Your food cost on it is much higher, but you actually make more money off selling a steak by the plate. So you take that risk over having something that people really like, and you make a larger investment on the front end, and it offsets your food costs, but it's more advantageous for you down the road. Mm-hmm. And so we combo things. Like, yeah, we'll let you get into the bar free, but I'm gonna make a 200% markup on every drink I fill.
Right.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
A cup of Mountain Dew only cost me 8 cents, but I'm gonna sell it for $2.50. I'm gonna sell 1,000 of these.
Well, that's what it is, yeah. And that's why the alcohol industry is so profitable, because their markup is insane.
It's water, man.
Yeah.
I was, I was being human last night. I said, "Baby, I'm gonna chill with you. Let's watch some TV," which I don't normally do often. And I watched like 3 hours of TV with her, right? And we watched those. What is it? They go in there.
Felt good because you finished the album.
Go in the yeah, I did. I was like, that was my party. I'm like, I'm done mixing. I'm going. But
by the way, just in case people wondering, it's that album right there. Oh, that album right there. Oh,
say what?
Sorry about that. How to do that?
And Fly, just so you know too, it's only the producers in the circle. That's what we decided, because it was too many of us. It was like it wouldn't work. But yeah, so it's a nod to you anyway, because you were on there twice.
Fly's like in the group. I mean, Fly. It's like more Fly on that album than Pro Quo. What are you talking about? He's anchoring jams, man. He's
I think we need to get the producers more love, man. I like that.
The whole point is that's the whole point. Yep.
Yeah.
What is it that? Wait. I just wanted to clarify. What is it that you like? Did you like this? Oh, how to do it again? They spinning. That thing's gonna spin. It's gonna land on the artist,
that on a vinyl,
the producer, right? It's gonna spin. It's gonna be on that record.
I love it.
But yeah,
I love it, man.
Yeah, shout out Jay
Money. But so I'm watching the show, and they revamping these, the restaurants, right? Because the restaurant owner is in debt, and this one lady, man, she was like, her payroll was $250,000. And her total income that she was making off the restaurant was $240,000. Her food cost was like $120,000. It was a kosher restaurant or whatever.
That's
and it was like margin. Right. And she was doing it for years. It's like, well, this is why you in debt millions.
Yeah.
Right.
We all do that in life, though. You know what I'm saying?
We do.
That's exactly what we do in life.
I was going to say that, man. We do, man. And I can tell you from experience that running a restaurant is extremely difficult, man. It's not as easy as people think it is. It has its simplicities, but it can be extremely difficult, man. But to do that, like he was saying, I think it's finding what you're really good at, like Rex was saying too, and you just got to drive it. If you can cook, and really focus on that, drive it, and allow that to create other opportunities for you.
I know what that man's really good at. That man's really good at kicking He Praise. You ready for some He Praise?
Man,
with the official scratches from DJ Slipwax.
Yeah, shout out.
Hit your knees real quick. Yeah. Hit your knees real quick. Hit your knees real quick. Hit your knees real quick. Let's skip the pleasantries. I'm more about that action as the remedy. To me, that's that heavenly blessing. I question everything with faith that it will work out. I work so mentally, cause deities to me have never been really about that equity. Create my destiny. Watch the world open sesame. Since y'all been watching Sesame Street on beats obsessively. Professing these gems in the streets before my specialty. Spitting mathematics in class, my rap is therapy. Incredibly, rose through the ranks with growth steadily. My comrades falling off the feather knees like leprosy. Treachery and jealousy catching up something terribly. Many brothers questionably gone, them John Kennedys. Been an accessory, longing for them accessories. Long as me alone, been butter, been had the recipe. Word to my enemies, I heard them say, if y'all ain't praying in this game, you better be ready to be prayed. Hit your knees real quick. Down. Hit your knees real quick. Hit your knees real quick. Down. Hit your knees real quick. Yeah. Hit your knees real quick though. Hit your
Get blessed cause I be that slick. Your mouth phone pout where I see you think. EQ the words, we don't need that drink. Fight through the urge, grown man instinct. It's consequential that I lead that rink. Armor loaded with the kinks, so I feed that sink. A lot of tears, rap pain, sure we need that mint. Self over everything, I see that link. Ghosts leaving footsteps, don't need no shrink. Been a pill before Phil, that's the book I print. Run the court like Phil, that's the mail I sing. Everything kept real, 90s tip. No grips with the lip, BL's a fear my rip. Close my lips, say a prayer, then I do my shit.
Hit your knees real quick. 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 Hit your knees real quick.
Look, I pray, and I don't mean predator. Bombard heaven, hoping God help me level up. Say they digging God till it's time to pick that shovel up. Faith and no work is like etc. etc. Young Roger Federer, I'm keeping up bracket. Ballin' like I'm in the NCAA bracket. Remember when the only meal was the ramen in the packet? That's a thing of the past, like a Pelly jacket. Wanna know the tactic? Believe what you asking for more than a rapper. He's an ambassador, I could've been a trapper, but I ain't need the back and forth. Now I just finesse away the bull like a matador. I know what they mad for, it don't even matter. Got the adversary peed off like a bladder. Hit him with the flex, making hits like a batter. Climbing to the top and I don't even need a ladder. I pray.
Hit your knees real quick. 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 Make sure you hit the knees real quick.
Woo, Yahweh, I love your verse, bro.
Appreciate that,
Block
brother.
came in here.
That's tough.
Yeah,
Record. I
man.
like that record.
Yeah, it's a good record.
It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. A couple of those cats sounded like they were
we don't
okay.
fake up in here.
Y'all sound like y'all can rap a little bit, man.
Yeah, you sound like a
Something, huh?
rapper.
Yeah, you
sound
do.
like a rapper.
I'm more than a rapper, man. I'm an ambassador.
That's what I was waiting
That's
for.
right. Thank you.
Could have been
Yeah,
a chopper,
boy.
but I
Could
don't
have been
need
a
it back
chopper,
and
but I don't
forth.
need that back and forth. Mm-mm.
I just what away the bull like a what? Like a matador?
Matador.
He does what?
Positive vibrations all day, every day. That's how we got to live. You know?
AVREX, you see the connection right there. You see the fly AVREX kind of vibe right there, right?
Oh, that
That's
y'all
it.
two on a record together be dope.
That's
Man, we got to do it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a collab waiting to happen.
Get it.
Gotta do it, man. ASAP.
I told them, I said it at last episode, I said it's a law. Anybody that be messing with Pro Quo, like on our tip, album wise, feature wise, same as Rex, you can't cuss. That's it.
It's beautiful, man. I always say this, I brag on clean artists, man, all the time, man, because it takes more creativity when you take a dialect, you know, a vernacular or a certain portion of the language.
Yes.
Kind of like for me, there's a whole lot of stuff that I remove from my music, and I have to be extra creative because I limit, you know, the things that I rap about. You know, I try to avoid, you know, sexually explicit content, even though that ain't profanity. But, you know, I usually try to avoid that. If I do talk about women, it's about my wife. You know what I'm saying? Or my daughters, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that. I don't talk about drinking or smoking or clubbing. So, you know, it's real particular about the things that we talk about in a lot of senses, being the clean artists especially. And so it takes a lot more creativity, man. How many people going platinum, and they probably, they might have 6 complete bars in the 16 verse. You know, most of us like and
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And about 12 curse words. You know what I mean? Just like,
Yeah.
What do you
take
say?
a lot of creativity.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
I was
Yo,
putting
I
my
had-
disclaimers. Oh, sorry. You go.
I was on Twitter, like getting back on my social media grind today since that album's done. And
The album's done?
yeah, it's done. So Lindsay, I got Lindsay the Plug, I think is her name on Twitter. She was she
great
put
name.
out there, what's your favorite bar that you've written, right? And I was
hard.
like,
Lindsay just does not sound like the name of who would be the plug. That's why it's a great name. Lindsay the Plug.
The Plug.
What's next? Megan the Plug, and Becky.
Megan the Plug. It's probably
Becky the Plug.
But
What's going on with that name?
it's funny because really, like, I know my favorite bar of all time right now, and it's
Really?
this. Yeah, it's this. Told my daughter, cross your legs because you a lady.
You're a lady. I remember that bar.
That's my favorite bar, and I don't care what anybody thinks. I know how I felt when I came up with it, how I was like, you know, saying you're a princess, you know what I mean? Like little things that make a big difference when you, yeah, you know. So to me, that's the fatherhood thing. I love that line, man.
That's
I
real.
put up. She retweeted it.
That's real. That's real, bro.
Yeah.
I love it. I think one of my objectives, man, every day when I'm writing is I want to create opportunities to be able to talk to people about my faith. Having a true north keeps you centered in a lot of ways. I try not to get into heavily into religion, you know, so to speak. I believe having a true north really keeps us centered and focused, you know, and give us purpose in life. And overall, I think it just produces better people, man. And so that's one of my lifelong journeys, man. Like my calling is to, you know, help people find that true north. And so for me, it's really like music is like that secondary thing. Really, honestly, I do it because, you know, God gifted me with the ability to do it. But ultimately, I want to be able to do it, man. You know, to give, you know, to introduce people to them. People can find purpose in it.
How funny is that, right? Abe was saying the same thing in the beginning of the episode. Same thing.
Yeah, man. It's
and I can honestly say that it's become the same for me now, 38 years into my life, where I realized that the reason why I was losing so much was because music was always primary.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I backed that off. And yes, of course, it's very, very important, and I tie it into everything I do. But you can't be just music. You got to be something else beyond that. And then your music speaks through that. True North, I love it.
Yeah. So how do you
True
feel
North helps you find your center.
So how do you feel about people? Hashtag. LeBron gets a lot of criticism for not just focusing on basketball
unfairly.
But to me, he gets it. Basketball is just a platform, right? It's just an avenue, and he uses it to really focus on things that are important to him. Not just him, but things that other people can benefit from. But he gets a lot of criticism for that. How do y'all feel about that?
I feel like that's horrible. It shouldn't be an issue when you're doing good things for the community. But you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
I think some of it can be good, but if we don't have Jesus Christ, right, to determine what's right or wrong, then what's the determining factor? Because if we base it on the government, then certain things are right and certain things are wrong. If we base it on what do we base our everyday life on? How do we determine what's the right feeling and what's the wrong feeling? If we know our hearts are deceitful, if we know for a fact that there's times that we want things that are bad for us, then we know we can't trust that decision making. And at times it's flawed. Everybody has the same saying, not everybody's perfect, right? No matter what culture you go into, somebody's always going to say we all have flaws, nobody's perfect. So if we know that, then what are the guidelines to understanding what is perfect and what is right? How do we determine that? So in other words, if LeBron says, well, I'm not focusing on basketball, I'm going to go give food to these people over here. What determines whether that's right or wrong? Because what if giving them those things actually detour them from doing the things that they could do to help themselves? So how do we determine the right from wrong? Because it feels good and it looks good, that's what's right? Or do we use something, and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I need the Bible to tell me what's right or wrong, but properly, right? Properly interpreted. It has to be interpreted the right way, rightly divided, so that we know, what's right or wrong. Other than that, man is just leaning to their own understanding, and we all see the effects of that every day.
Dangerous.
Would y'all extend that to other religions that don't, like you quoted Jesus Christ particularly? I think the interesting thing about that, of course, is that are you talking about the 10 Commandments which precede Jesus Christ, or are you talking about simply as Jesus Christ as the vehicle? Because I mean, we're celebrating one of the biggest holidays of the Muslim faith there is right now, right? And they would tell you that Jesus is a prophet, but they would not accept Jesus as the divine Son of God, such as many religions also do claim, right? But
well, they do more than that. They actually depict him as the Antichrist. So a lot of times people are saying things from their religion, which they
wait. Who depicts Jesus as the Antichrist?
The Muslim faith.
Oh, see, I got to read up on that one.
Yeah, their picture of the end of times is a Christ-like figure coming back. So a lot of Muslims don't even understand their own faith when they say things.
Would you say though that you're speaking to the commandments? Because this is my issue that I have. When you get Christian people onto a show, Christian people are always going to cite Jesus Christ, right? So, right? That's what it is. Does this extend to other people that don't have that same faith? Because when you look at the commonality of what the 10 Commandments are, or the Golden Rule, which is the common thread of every religion that's worth its salt in the entire world, are we being exclusionary here and saying, or are you just saying for you, Jesus Christ is your vehicle to get to those places? Because I always worry about people that are tuning in that, just like you said, music can be the vehicle. I'm not that exclusionary personally. I don't, I'm not trying to say, yo, if you Muslim, this ain't a show for you to watch, or if you Buddhist, this ain't. It absolutely is. You know what I'm saying? My music, I'll say often, Jay hears me say this, I'll say I'm a Christian. I'm not as good as Christian as you guys are. I'm a bad Christian because it's like my faith is not that strong. It's clearly not. I don't have that kind of strength in faith that I believe that I need the 10 Commandments to tell me what's right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that I could go to find someone else's book, look at it, and say, yeah, that's pretty good. You know what I mean?
This is
we did a whole new show on that.
It's gonna go a whole different way, but trust me, there is a new covenant. There's a new covenant that don't.
Fly is ready for that show.
They don't.
He's like, is that Aaron next?
The 10 Commandments. So the perspective I'm coming from is a Christian perspective, yes,
right,
upon the new covenant, which there are some things that yes, but in the new covenant, he clearly said that the 10 Commandments are done with. It's kind of like you can't follow every rule in the book of the law. The 10 Commandments is valid. He says, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. That's very clear.
Mm-hmm.
But the point that Christ was making was, people are trying to follow all of these rules, which all these rules can't help you. In other words, what he's saying is the faith that you have is given by God. The salvation you have is given by God. There's nothing that Pro, Ave, or anybody else can do to obtain the mercy and love from God. There's nothing we can do. That's a gift that's given. So to answer your question, does that pertain to every culture, no matter what, where, when, how? Yeah, it certainly does. It pertains to everybody. In the beginning, I was telling you that we all have a general revelation of God.
Mm-hmm.
Some Christians are going to try to act like they're holier than other Christians and doing this, and that is something that Jesus spoke against. He spoke against doing that. Stop doing that. We're watching Palestine and Israel in a battle now.
Yeah.
This is prime time news where you see a Jewish community using hate against another community. They're stealing houses and are they using that with the precedent of? Do you feel they're using that with the precedent of the word? Are they using the word to cite their somewhat
I don't want to say supremacy, but towards ethnic cleansing, or is
Yeah,
it?
that's because that, like he said, that there's a misconception. The reason why Jesus brought a new covenant because there was always a misconception about the intent of the law. That's why he created a separation by defining it as a letter of the law and a spirit of the law. Right? So the Pharisees and Sadducees and like some of those other hate groups that you see, they use their religion as a weapon, whether it was slavery for African Americans in the country. Europeans use scripture to try to support it.
Absolutely.
Because they misinterpreted what it meant, trying to be so strict to the letter of the law and then really live out the spirit of the law and the intent. And that's why Jesus said, I'm the fulfillment of that. And all the things they thought he was doing that was against the law, quote unquote, like eating on the Sabbath and things like that. He made a statement that said something along the lines of, I didn't make you for the Sabbath, I made the Sabbath for you. So in other words, I gave creation for you to enjoy, not for creation to control you, not for a day of the week to, take you and subject you, and it should be the other way around.
Yeah, he was saying, "I am the Sabbath."
Now, do you guys take that deep of a dive with the music, or is the music just the opening of the door? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you go that deep with it?
I don't think that music. Put it this way: if you say God is omnipotent, all powerful, right? I don't think he needs my music to save anybody. I don't think he needs my money.
I think very similarly. Yeah,
I have to offer to do anything. So that's why I say it's kind of a backseat thing. To where it is difficult to do interviews and stuff because I don't take music the same way as some people anymore. Right. I've seen the result of gangbanging in music and seen what came out of it. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of am. When I see hip hop, I see something different. But I've come now to see something that is beautiful out of it. But I never seen that through music. That didn't take music for me to see that. It took God for me to see that. So everything good in my life is because of him. That's a gift. That's not something that I work towards. Of course, I have a human obligation. I have my obligation to do good and to struggle and strive to be right. We all have that obligation, but that's just where I stand on. I stand on the word. But remember what I said: rightly divided. Right. So if you look at 90% of the churches that you see here today, they're not practicing Christianity.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Not at all, bro. Not at all. But for me too, is like my approach is a little different. Like music for me is just really just a thing to do that I love, that I appreciate, and I value.
So the release value is there for you.
You know what I'm saying? For me, there's value in it. For me, it just in the sense that I plan to use it as, like you said, a vehicle, but it's secondary to my ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? Which is my service to God, and to, like you were saying, help people, discover who he is, because a lot of religions are very similar.
Right. That
so
was my point. Yeah.
We have a lot of, so my approach sometimes also is different in how I introduce people to my God, because for me, I've seen buildings, and he was just talking about restoring restaurants and things like that. Sometimes what I see Christians do, or people that claim to be Christian, what I see them do and what they falter at in their witnessing and bonding and communicating with other people is that they try to tear down the whole restaurant when the restaurant just need a better menu. You understand what I'm saying? And so when we are so matter of fact with people because they don't 100% agree with us, we miss our opportunity to just say, hey, you know what? We have a lot in common already.
Yeah. It's similar to the whole argument, the Jew-Palestine argument. It's like, you believe what? You are awful. You know what I'm saying?
They really in a lot of ways, but have a lot of the very same beliefs. And if they go back far enough, the father of their beliefs, natural fathers came from the same person. And so it's kind of like getting the understanding, expressing that love, that as a true Christian, you know, you're gonna show love no matter what other people believe. And people are going to be drawn to that. But to Rex's point, there's nothing that we can really do that can save people. Right? It's that revelation that God has to give them. So for me, it's just like about creating that introduction, or creating the opportunity, or just maybe discussing something that they may not have heard or thought about or considered, as opposed to beating people over the head. Or like you said, like we got to go to war because we disagree. I don't think it should be like that. You know, take a modest approach to people. Be loving, be approachable, be acceptable. Don't be like Rex was saying, holier than thou, or people can talk to you. And for me, music is one of the ways to do that. For me, you know what I'm saying? Just like, hey, and it still happens every day. To this day, people ask me like, man, I'll listen to your music. It's dope, bro. And I hear this, and I can tell you've been through this. I can tell you came from the streets or whatever. But it's something unique. They don't want to talk about my past. They want to talk about the God part. And it creates an opportunity. And then
I did the same thing. Yeah, I did the same thing.
And so for me, music is just like you said, one of my ways of trying to do what I believe God has called me to do, and just like he's making an introduction. But he don't need us, you know. There's nothing I can really say or do that's gonna save people. But I might can help them, introduce them to some information, or like you said, some clarity, because Scripture has been so often misinterpreted within churches that has 2 to 5,000 members, and the Scripture, the Bible is not being taught properly. And
I think next December we gotta have this same mix with Jonah up in here too.
Yeah,
Jonah will get it started. Yeah, absolutely.
Jonah, you guys with Jonah, that'd be great.
Jonah and I behind the scene go to war all the time. We've been going to war behind the scenes for years, man. We've been like, I'll be like, this is the most ridiculous thing in the world, but it's all love. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. Man, it's all love.
It's true.
Yeah, shout out Dramatic. Shout out Dramatic. I see it. Shout out.
Dramatic.
Drama, you were saying. What's up, Dramatic?
Wolves, absolutely. Yo, what does Wolves stand for, man? What is that? Is that the official one right there? Warriors organizing lives, values, and escaping struggle, or are there many?
And that's it right there. I don't know if you can see it. Warriors organizing life, values, escaping struggle.
Has it always been that? Has that always been what the tag was for that?
Yeah, I recently learned that it has been. Not that it wasn't, but it always has been that. But I seen a documentary with Crumb, and it really opened my eyes to something, because he was truly trying to get away from the streets and keep others away from the streets. And it felt like I was pulling so much in the other direction, I couldn't really see that that's what was happening. Even Drama, like what he does now in the community and stuff like that, he's been doing that stuff, man.
For years,
you know, Drama, he's been doing that. But I couldn't see that. And it was like a blessing for my eyes to be open to see, like, they were trying to keep me away from it. This is why I was having so many issues with them, because I was going the opposite way.
The wrong way. What I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, and they were like, let's do this music. And I was like, I don't want to do the music. I want to gangbang. I want to do this. You know, I want to be out here doing this. And it was just, it has always stood for that as an acronym and what they were trying to do. But I also realized we have to be full-fledged in something. We can't halfway, we can't be lukewarm with what we're doing either. And I think that's what it was. I was seeing a lukewarm situation that I had to turn either hot or cold. And I just turned hot for God. That was the defining factor right there.
We're gonna have Drama up here too. Oh, we gotta get Drama up here. I gotta ask you this, AVREX. Maybe you know too about. Maybe I need him up on here to clarify this. Was Wolves started by Dramatic or Crumb or who, or was it a bunch of people at the same time? I don't actually know.
Founding members of Wolves is Big Ty, Crumb Snatcher, and an unnamed member. We'll leave his name out, but it was started by Crumb Snatcher and Big Ty. Shout out to them. But as a unit, everybody kind of was like together at the same time in a unit. Drama was a founding member as well. He was in the beginning, so you know. Shout out to
That's
all the
dope.
wolves. And that's everybody. Everybody.
I always think of Dramatic as sort of like the chief marketing exec, man. He's always like he's been waving that flag, man, for the longest time. We have some trivia.
Itchy finger too. Itchy.
Absolutely.
Itchy finger, yeah.
We could have some drama trivia, man. We could be like, what was Dramatic's first group? You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling y'all. You're gonna have to come back. Y'all don't know that. Y'all don't know that. But
I think he was in a group with Big Suge, wasn't he?
We're gonna have to have him up here. Tell you.
Send him.
Yeah. He goes back to those scientific days we were talking about at the top too, man. Shout out to rest in peace, man. Scientific, everybody. But yeah, man, we actually over our time. And
we over 15 minutes, but we started late 5 minutes, but we could have went on forever. But hey,
we did.
AVREX,
Riveting stuff.
I started preaching on you. We started preaching up in here.
I love digging into it.
Had a little church going.
That's it.
We'll have like I said, we do this holiday special. We started it last year, and we had Fly and Jonah, who's also a pastor teacher. We had them on the show, and I think that I would love to extend that invite to you for this coming December, man.
Yeah, we did it on Christmas. I mean, we did
it on Christmas Day.
We did it.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was real cool, man.
That was dope. I was actually on my way to Chicago. I stopped in Marion, Illinois, man, just so I wouldn't miss the show.
We have the good Christians, the bad Christians, the
man, stop
between
playing,
Christians.
Man. Stop that, man.
Some Christians claim holier than thou, others claim worse. You know what I'm saying? So, some are here. Yeah.
Man, oh man.
It's so funny. Hey, Rex, I'm gonna hit you up on the ground, bro. We got the link, man. We got to work ASAP, man.
Hey, let's get it done, man. I'm recording at the crib now.
I can see that, Mike. You are.
Y'all are. Isn't it beautiful?
I'm at the crib now.
These are all people who record at home, right here. These mics. Yeah.
Man, man, I love it, man. I love it. I tell you, I'm home with the family all the time now. No overhead at the studio all night and all that, man. Trying to make it home, sleeping in there.
Yep.
I love it, man, and it sounds the same, man. It
sounds the same.
Yeah.
I gotta get there, man. I gotta get there, man. You know what? I have all the stuff, man.
Put this on the wall and you're good.
I got everything, man. I gotta, yeah.
Well, you know what though, Fly? The thing is that you're still executing. So as long as that, it is nice having the setup. I mean, you got to engineer a little bit, but you're still getting work done, bro. That's huge throughout this whole COVID thing, man. So team is strong. That Freedom Corner brand.
I'm gonna say that, man. Shout out to Freedom Corner brand, man. Shout out to my boy LD. Man.
Yeah.
And JC, my engineer, man, who makes sure that I'm able to, I get access whenever I need to be in the man. He make it available. He make himself.
He's
available.
so cool, man. Yeah, we chopped it up with him the other day.
We need Sim on the show too, man. Shout out to Sim, man.
Sim's he's real
man.
dope.
Family and friends, man.
We might have to have him on. You know what we'll do is we'll probably. Maybe at the end of this month we'll get them all on the show so we can talk about the release and how we're doing it with Orchard and all that stuff. Man, that'd be a cool little episode.
Definitely, as long as we get
boys,
LD
I gotta
to turn the light on.
Oh yeah, right. You staying in the dark.
Light on.
Like, yo, you a ninja right now, bro?
Yeah,
what you doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. 6 day a week over there, man. We know you gotta get to bed, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey, but AVREX, man, I appreciate you, my long-term brother. Instant brotherhood all day, every day.
Lemon stuff.
And we're gonna have you back for sure. And I will be getting on the phone with the contacts you gave me. We'll be chopping it up and stuff. I haven't got to it yet just because I've been so busy and I didn't want to get distracted. But having you on was the most important thing for sure, brother. So again, thank you.
Much respect, man.
Fly again. Good night, my man. Pro left hand man.
I actually hit remove before I meant to remove. Let me put them right back in there. I did not mean to do that. Yo, I was like, everybody get out. You can't stay. Nah, peace, y'all. Respect y'all coming through, man. Thanks for your time. That was great stuff. Anytime,
I gotta call Robbie. Actually, I lied. I can't go to sleep yet. I gotta call Robbie.
They should know. I want AVREX to know. Once you're on the show once, man, you get the lifetime membership, man. You just kind of come back. You ask for that.
That's
secret invite like Fly does, man, and you just slide up on in here.
Slide right
unless it's too much riveting conversation, then we might have to sit there for a little bit. But but yeah, man.
Yeah,
Love
another
it.
great
We
episode.
gotta go. Yo, I got a big day tomorrow. I got 2 people in the house studying for this black belt test tomorrow, man. I'm like, come on, y'all.
They're gonna get it.
Yeah. Well, let's hope, man. They're working. They've been working. So we got
Very good. What time's it at, bro?
technical time, I think 11:30, but we'll see how it goes down. So we'll see.
All right, my brother. Good night, man. We'll
All right,
talk
man.
tomorrow.
Another
Peace
one
out,
down,
y'all.
man.
Thanks for
All right,
tuning in.
take care.
Peace.
Absolutely.